Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War stream. So today, of course, we got ourselves a Vault event still going on, still have all of today and all of tomorrow to go do the Vault event. This increases the chance of being able to find gnomes, as well as specifically finding vault keys from those gnomes. We've currently found 5 keys, of course trying to always get to those double digits if we can. Main thing that we're focusing on this weekend is actually probably giving us a slightly slower rate of gnomes, because I'm doing it in PvP compared to spamming in Explore, and Explore could just cycle a little bit quicker. However, the reason why we're doing this is this gives more EXP, and of course as the title says, we are trying to level up hero classes. I am 32 out of 34 hero classes of all the hero classes in the game completed with our upgrading. All I have to do now is Diabolus, which is at 92, which we'll be finishing out tomorrow night, and I also been running it for pet battles with a Phoenicia team. And then the only other thing is Oracle, which we'll be spending time on this stream. We'll be getting it to level 98 or so, and then tonight we'll get it to 100, and that's pretty much the game plan. Anything else we needed over here? Yep, that's it. Those two. And then we have every single hero class at 100. So let me go take this battle. We have a pet all going on right now. I only got 15 minutes left on that thing, so let's go and get that now before I forget, because I will forget. So let's go get that now. But hello everyone! Hello Paul, hello Marcelo, hello Drock Savage, hello Haley, hello Herberto, hello everyone, welcome, welcome. Hello everyone else. The Phoenicia team, really good for pet battles. I ran her some in the past, but it works best with Sunspear with Perpetual Red. And for that reason, I haven't really been running it much, because to run this as optimally as possible, you have to not level up a hero class, since you kind of have to use Sunspear. Well, theoretically, if you don't have Sunspear maxed yet, you could do a Sunspear. But Sunspear is a pretty good utility to have, so quite a few people probably have it maxed. But if you don't yet, or if you just already have everything upgraded, or just don't mind not getting EXP, it's really good for this. The reason why you want the Perpetual Red is mostly because, of course, she'll do 2 times damage whenever there's a red storm, and while this is fine for when she can one-shot the enemy battle, you do eventually reach the point where she has to double cast to win, and once you reach the double cast area, you kind of have to go the long enough that you can actually have the red storm to double cast, because if you don't, you will not kill with the second cast when you end up casting her, which is the biggest problem, which we're going to see in a moment, actually. Because this 6th or 7th and 8th battle in particular, we're going to lose the storm and not have enough damage to kill, which slows it down slightly. But I need the EXP, so we're still going to do it nonetheless, even though we're just doing off a starting storm. One way that we can get slightly lucky off it is if we get a starting board that has all the mana we need, and then we can cast a Leprechaun after we've already casted once. If we do it prior, it goes pretty slow. So ideally what we want to be able to do here is take her mana manually off the board. And unfortunately there's not an option to do so. So we are going to have to waste the Leprechaun, which is really bad. And we didn't even get full mana from it. Oh, that is even worse. Ooh, that's really bad actually. We'll take that for now, I guess. So this is the issue with doing it this way. Is our storm is about to expire right now. And that reduces our damage by half compared to what you would normally do, which is obviously bad. We'll take that for now. So this will still do a decent damage. Oh, actually, you know what? Oh, wait, how do we regain? Oh, ha! Sunbird! I was gonna say, wait, how do we kill? Sunbird redid Red Storm. Well, that works. Though we won't have that this time around. Oh, that is hilarious. The Sunbird redid the Red Storm. Oh, bad board. I'm gonna have to Leprechaun it. So here's where we're really going to notice the fact that we don't have Perpetual Storm, because there's no Sunbird this time to save us, and they have even higher stats. And they gain armor as well. That wasn't already bad enough. Yeah, normally that would be enough. Oh wait, what did redid Red Storm? Wait, what? What did redid Red Storm in that situation? I'm confused. Wait, does the Legend have Red Storm on it? Oh yeah, the Legend has Red Storm on cast, doesn't he? I almost forgot about that. Hold up. He has Red Storm on cast. I'm pretty sure. Well, we got really lucky. Let's see. Yeah, he has Red Storm on cast. Wow, that's kind of funny. We got really lucky on those final two. Because he gave us free Red Storm both times. Very nice. Almost forgot about that because he's generally almost never used. Anyways, pets out the way. We claimed them, right? Yes. Still need one more copy to actually be able to upgrade it, though. Although I believe off-stream I was able to get some pet copies. And I think we were able to get one thing upgradable range. Yes, this new Rockwiller that we got like a month or two ago, whenever it was. We got another upgrade on this thing. So that's now a 2.5 bonus for Druk Zoom, rather than the normal 2.25 that we had prior. So we'll go upgrade that. There we go. And we get something from it. I believe just 5 gems. If I can click on the right one. Yep, just 5 little gems, but still better than nothing. There we go. Anyways, let's get on the grind. So as I mentioned, main goal today is to power grind, not that class. Get out of that dab list. Is to power grind the Oracle Hero class. And go get this thing to level 100 today. Getting it to around 98 this stream, and then tonight getting it to 100. And it'll be good to go. Hello, Lars. Hello, Sfermi. Hello, Bobs. Welcome, everyone. Hey, how many Valkies have you guys been getting so far? Some people got some really high numbers yesterday, people were mentioning. I think already having about a dozen. I have not gotten that lucky yet. But 5's not a bad amount. First time catching my stream. Thank you, Craig. Glad you can make it. I've been watching your Puzzle Quest 1 and 2 Let's Plays. Oh yeah, we've ran through Puzzle Quest 2.5 times on the channel. I never actually did finish the HD remake run. But, yeah, we ran through Puzzle Quest 2.5 times, and we ran through Puzzle Quest 2 once. I definitely prefer Puzzle Quest 1, personally. Between the two. Also, there's a good chance they're working on Puzzle Quest 3. The game we're playing right now are the same developers of Puzzle Quest 1 and 2. And there is a possibility they'll get around to Puzzle Quest 3. Though it has been a while since they made a Puzzle Quest game. Puzzle Quest 1, I believe, was 2008. Puzzle Quest 2 was, I want to say 2011. And Puzzle Quest 3 hasn't existed yet. Because they did Gems of War in 2014. And then they've never done, like, any Match 3 since. Because Gems of War has just been making them so much money. Relative to their other projects. But they are eventually probably going to make Puzzle Quest 3. Yeah, that's how a lot of people initially found Gems of War when it first came out, actually. I'm pretty sure like 80% of the player base, the first few weeks, were like everyone who knew of Puzzle Quest. Because that's where most of it came from, the initial player base for the game. And then it slowly grew over time. Gems of War is kind of an interesting game in that it's pretty much always been growing, for the most part, as far as in size. Which is kind of rare for a game. I guess for a live service, that kind of is sometimes the case. Yeah, right now what we're just doing is spamming Explore, or not Explore 1, PvP 1 trophy. If you're doing casual PvP, you can keep repicking with gold very quickly just to get easy battles that you could just one-shot. And the reason for doing this compared to like Explore 2 or 3, which is technically better for gnomes, but it's slower for class XP, even though it's better for normal XP. It's a weird combination. But basically, this ends up giving slightly more class XP, since it gives 2 XP per battle. And even though it's slightly slower in the fact that we have to find the battle sometimes. Oh gosh, so many repicks. But it takes slightly longer in that regard. However, we get 2 XP per battle rather than 1. Which does make it quicker even with it taking that much delay. Yes, there's a chance of getting Valkyries in PvP, casual PvP. That's probably your best bet at that level range. That and quest lines. If you're that low of a level, quest lines do give gnomes. So even if you're just doing normal questing within quests, they will give you gnome chances. The only locations that do not give you gnomes are any guild-related event. So this week, currently Tower of Doom. Dungeons, delves, which you probably don't even have unlocked yet at that level. And pet rescue, oddly enough. But everything else ends up giving it to you. Quest lines do, Explore does, PvP does, Arena does. Oh, someone at a low level with Aquaticus. Nice. They got lucky drop. What level are they? Oh, 155. That's actually a little bit higher. Still pretty early to have a good Mythic. Not the best in the game, but for early game, that's probably pretty potent. 19 Valkyries. Wow. How long have you been grinding to get 19 Valkyries? That is a lot of Valkyries. Yeah, daily adventure board does, if I didn't mention that, yeah. The 9 to 10 tasks that we get every single day, currently today 9, those do have gnome chance as well. That is correct. Liz, welcome! So, hello, the pro player. All gnomes are easier to appear, not just treasure gnomes, right? Yes, that is correct. Every single gnome in the game has a higher chance of appearing, including pet gnome. Oh, I meant to take that. Whoops. So it's technically the best time to farm pets as well, at any time within the game. Because one person can actually solo it every single hour, which is normally not possible. Normally, if you wanted a pet every single battle for your guild, you would have to have multiple people constantly farming PvP, kind of like what we're doing right now, but multiple people. However, during a gnome event, one single person can actually perpetually keep a 1-hour pet going for your entire guild. As you've seen, we've gotten as many as like 8 pet gnomes in a single hour during this event. Definitely very easy to find one within an hour for your guild. Oh, yeah, I need to go double check the timer on the pet in case we find a pet gnome, in case we need to hold it for some amount of time. I know we did it, I just forget how much timer is left on it, which is good to know. Let me go double check it. How much timer is left? Let's see. We got 4 minutes. So let's just say 5 minutes in case we find a gnome, because we can just hold it until after the timer has expired and then immediately get a gnome if we find a gnome in the next 4 minutes. Not that kind of gnome. Pet gnome. Well, 2,500 gold to start us off with gnomes for today. Pretty bad drop. Hello, Defiant. Hello, Exos. You tried retreating from PvP today and lost no rank after doing it 10 times. Really? It should reduce it. Oh no, it should reduce it by about 10 or so. It's a pretty small amount, but I believe I'm pretty sure it still reduces it if you just retreat spam. I don't think you have to like literally lose the battle. That would take forever if you do. I've never actually tried reducing my rating that far. But last I recall, you can just retreat spam. You only see 8k up on casual PvP. How do you face such low levels? If you keep your rating very low, you'll have a higher chance of finding lower battles. You have to keep your rating around tier 14 or 15 or so. And we're currently at tier 15. Actually, we can see it right over here. We're at tier 15 with 567 rating. All the way down at 56,725 in the game. But basically, you want that to be very low. And because while what your battle is determined by many factors, one of the most manipulatable ones is having a very low rating and a very low tier. And tier 15 is the lowest tier you can have. And that rating is perfectly fine. So it basically makes it so you have a higher chance of finding very weak battles. It's not a guarantee that you'll find weak battles, but it increases your chance compared to having a higher rating. It's not really that viable to reverse your rating, though. If you already have a higher rating, you might as well just do Explore for the week. Just because the amount of time that you would take to get it back to a point where it would actually give you like weaker battles. You could just get so much loot from Explore instead. Explore is where I normally do it. The only reason I'm even doing PvP right now is for the XP, class XP. It's actually slower for gnomes compared to doing Explore. Otherwise, I would be doing Explore. Like, as soon as this week ends, every single gnome event here we will be back to Explore for farming it. Unless we really need a pet gnome for whatever reason. To help the guild out. But aside from that, we'd be doing almost exclusively in Explore. Just because of its quicker speed for gnome cycle. Because every single place has the same drop rate and such for gnomes. Just the difference with the pet gnome thing in PvP and Arena. But the actual rate of gnomes is the same everywhere. So the quicker you can win battles, the better for getting more gnomes. And Explore can win quicker than PvP. Mostly because in PvP you have to repick and you go through more screens in PvP. Compared to just being able to spam through on Explore. About 12 hours? That's pretty good for 12 hours. Oh, you're leveling all your hero classes to level 100 as well? Only War Priest left? Nice. What level are you on War Priest then? But I'll have it done by tomorrow night. That is the goal. Made it the goal of this weekend for a while, and we'll finally get it. In time for next patch as well. Because next patch is coming in about 2 to 3 weeks. No official date yet. It is around the corner. You don't have to max out all your hero classes before it, but I just figured I would since we're already so close. And what better time than during a gnome event? Oh yeah, you can replace First Slot on this team with almost anything. Mountain Crusher is probably the overall best. Or Skea Shield. But you can put pretty much anything in First Slot as long as it doesn't block Rowan. Oh, you can do Golden Cog as well. As long as it doesn't block Rowan, should be fine. And that uses 2 mana, and you can just use it for a quick armor buff onto Rowan. You have 1,000 glory off of one of those gnomes earlier, and you spent them getting 2 of those Boyanog packs. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Honestly, there's almost no wrong way to spend glory. The only 2 wrong ones are, or really the only wrong one is basically using them for souls. Aside from that, pretty much anything that you could put glory into is worth it. The main 3 are the packs that you bought, whatever the weekly troop is, which are those packs. It changes every single week to a new troop. Those are used to get the whatever the new troop is, especially if it's meta. And it also ends up giving you arcane trait stones and minor trait stones, which can be a great way to dump some of your glory in order to get those if you're low on them for upgrading kingdoms. The other thing that's really good, if you haven't already done it this week, is spend 1,800 glory every single week to go and get 10 event keys. This is pretty good value. It's underneath one of the other things in the shop. It's kind of hidden. It also, for whatever reason, disappears whenever you've already gotten it. But it's underneath this menu over here. I can't really show it because, as I mentioned, it disappears after you've gotten it. But underneath resources, all the way at the left, not the Dragon's Hoard, but the you should see a Spoils of War there. That thing for 180 glory is really good. It gives you 1 event key and a few other loot. It's 1 event key, 2 treasure maps, and a small amount of golden souls for 180 glory. It's really good value because it's one of the best ways to get event keys if you need event keys, which generally throughout the entire game you pretty much need more event keys. It's one of the good ways to kind of stock up on them for free every single week. Obviously not free, it's just the glory thing that's taking out, but glory is pretty easy to obtain. You can actually obtain enough glory just through this gnome event to have enough to last you the entire month of buying Spoils of War. Because as you mentioned, there is a gnome that drops 1,000 glory. The glory gnome drops 200, 500, and 1,000 glory. And throughout the glory gnomes that you would get from a Vault weekend is enough to cover pretty much an entire month of buying the Spoils of War pack, as well as still covering your normal buying of the event troop every single week. But I do advise saving some glory to have enough to buy Spoils of War every week. Event keys are used for obtaining legends and mythics that you don't have, particularly legends. And whenever a new king or a event comes around that has a viable troop that you want, it's good to throw it down. This week we have Wild Plains, so no good legends for the most part. However, it does have Catches the Bull, but that's something you'd only go for probably later in the game due to how many keys you would need for it, event keys. But still, there's weeks that roll around that have good stuff. Actually, what is next week's event thingy? Forget if it has anything good. Gotta double check. What's next week? Let's see. What is next week's events? Next week's event is the Kingdom of Merlantis. Merlantis, I'd probably skip on spending event keys. Nothing too over the top in Merlantis. It has pretty good synergy with itself, but nothing is exceptionally good there for the most part. Oddly enough, isn't that one bounty troop of Sea Turtle from Merlantis? If it is, I think that might actually be the most viable thing in the kingdom, oddly enough. The bounty troop. Which is kind of funny given that bounty troops generally are not meta. But I'm pretty sure the bounty troop is actually the strongest thing in Merlantis, which is kind of funny. Let me actually double check. Let's see, what is the Merlantis drop table these days? Merlantis. Yeah, yes, TJTimebomb. It's probably the strongest thing in this kingdom, oddly enough. But it doesn't really have anything too good. KrissTigger's really good. Merline's a good utility, but you probably already have a copy of it. Nimue, I feel like, doesn't have a proper synergy yet, though she does have some potential. But yeah, nothing too over the top. The Mythics are okay. Aquatic is definitely a little bit better than Undyne, but Undyne has a really, really specific blue counter purpose, which is good on Blue Guild Ward A. But outside of that range, it's pretty much never used. But yeah, I never realized that. When KrissTigger came into the game, it actually became the strongest non-mythic within the kingdom. That is pretty funny. Yeah, KrissTigger is actually the strongest non-mythic in the kingdom as a bounty troop, because it has 50% score reduction and really good board control into a brown convert into a barrier submerge, which is pretty solid. Really good all-around tank while also having mana accumulation, which is a great combination to have. What do we need here? Take that for now. And dead. How can you get Vault Keys? Vault Keys are obtained from killing Gnomes. Gnomes are found in pretty much every game mode, particularly Explore and PvP and quest lines, if you haven't already done them. But you basically need to find Gnomes. Then there's a chance every single time you kill a Gnome that it will drop a Vault Key. And then that Vault Key can drop a bunch of various loot. Things like gems, gem keys, event keys, various orbs, some unique troops that can only be obtained through Vault Keys, the only viable one being Cedric, and a few other things. Yeah, it's definitely possible to go an entire weekend without finding any. I have once, though it is pretty rare. If you put a few hours into it, you would normally get at least one. And of course, the longer you grind for it, the more chances you'll have to find them. As you can see, so far we found 5 this weekend. Haven't found any yet this stream yet, though. I hope we'll find one soon. Actually, we'll hand out redeem code when we find our first Vault Key. I said that yesterday, and we found a Vault Key within, like, literally a minute. But, pretty sure it'll take a little bit longer today. Which it already has, of course. Because we got way too lucky yesterday on it. What's the best team to fast win level Explorer while getting souls? You have Fair Shra. For level 1 Explorer, it is, gosh, let me see if I can remember. I need to keep it saved, because I always keep forgetting the exact order of everything. But it's, the Sacrificial Priest team. What you need to use for it is, gosh, why do I have such a stuffy nose to the team that you need to use for is, see if I can remember it. It's Phylacracy, or Phylacary, however you say it. Phylactery? I think it's called Phylactery. But that one blue-purple hero weapon that gives you souls. You need that. Sacrificial Priest, Leprechaun, and Fair Shra is what you need. And what you do is cast Leprechaun. You then you then cast Phylacracy, or however you say it, Phylactery. And you then Sacrificial Priest, the highest thing that will give boost ratio. And then ideally you win. If you do not have enough damage to kill with to kill with Sacrificial Priest on Explorer 1, it is not worth using compared to Dragon Soul. But if it has enough damage to kill, then you just keep repeating that. And it's, I believe, the quickest soul farming team actually currently in the game. And one nice thing about it, too, is you can actually run with only one Fair Shra rather than needing 2 Fair Shras. You still try it with 2 Fair Shras, but you would have to use a half mana start hero class for sure. And you'd have to get lucky on your manas. But you'd only need to take like 2 purples, and you'd probably have full mana, as long as 1 surges. Because Sacrificial Priest only needs 4 mana, and because it has 75% mana start. And Phylactery only needs 7 mana, if I'm not mistaken. Assuming you have half mana start on hero. Hello, Corey! Welcome! Hey, JoeConnors! Hopefully it has a drop that isn't useless. Gosh, am I getting sick? Why is my nose so sniffly? Probably not. Though it could be seasonal allergies. Isn't it summer now? Can seasons stop changing forever? I always get seasonal allergies. Isn't today officially the first day of summer or something? Even though it's felt like summer for like weeks now. My body knows. Let's see. I haven't even been going out that much, like at all. Mostly because of virus, of course. It's still getting sick from pollen and everything. And just the seasonal changes. Got the last 2 vault keys from JoeConnors. It doesn't get any better. Nice, yeah. JoeConnors has the worst drop table of any gnome. Actually, that's theoretically not true. Mech Gnome, once you have every single weapon in the game max, not counting Doom weapons, is actually the worst gnome in the game. At least in the current state of the game. Until they add some kind of metal sink into the game. But, as it currently stands, aside from that, JoeConnors would be the worst. Just because even if you need diamonds and those crafting materials, he gives such a small amount that it's nearly 0. Even a normal gnome gives a higher diamond rate than JoeConnors, which makes no sense whatsoever. The JoeConnors drops more when it gives a drop, but its drops are so much rarer relative to the normal gnomes that the normal gnome effectively gives the exact same, if not more, diamonds. Is there a good team for +4 Mountain Crusher, Hindla, Frost Crown, Werewolf, Valkyrie? Oh, is that a good team? That could work. What was Werewolf's color convert again? I know it's like something to blue or something like that. Or something to brown. I forget exactly what his color convert was. Because he actually has 2, because of Werewolf and then the other one. But, yeah, that would be fine. Might be a little bit too much blue mana accumulation, though, just for one single troop. If you replace out anything, I'd probably say Werewolf or something. But building around Hindla is definitely perfectly fine. Especially if you go Titan Hero class. They never add sinks for anything to the game. They just invent new resources all the time. Yeah, that has been happening a lot. However, they did make mention in the past that they do want to add sync for quite a few things. They just never have. Ooh, 1,000 Glory drop. That's what we want to see. That's the best gnome drop that isn't a Valky. It's the most consistently good drop in the game as far as gnomes are concerned. Or, you know, the basic gnomes. While Valky can be good, you can get some really bad loot off of Valkies. But theoretically, you can also get some really bad loot off of 50 Glory Keys. But, I don't know, I'd still say the 1,000 Glory is more consistent. Plus, it's more flexible what you can use it on as well. Since there's multiple different things. Not just Glory Keys. Which, how much is our Glory these days? I know we're over 1 million again. I feel like we're always over 1 million. Even when I dipped under 1 million, it's like, oh yeah, it just repaired itself back in no time. Because I think we went as high as like 1.3 million, then we went as low as like 700,000 again, and then just shot right back up to like the 1.1 million or so I have right now. And it's kind of been stagnating around there. Sometimes I use Glory to buy gold. That's not the best of methods to use it for, but it's when you mass buy a pack and literally just do it for the gold rather than for the trade stones or anything else. Like theoretically would still get all the other loot along with it. But I've done that a couple times. It's not the best of exchange rates, but if you needed gold really quickly, it's not that bad. Later in the game anyways. Obviously earlier on in the game that'd be a bit of a waste. But 60,000 glory for 1,000,000 gold. While it is a little pricey compared to spending them on glory keys, it's definitely not bad as far as getting a lot of gold very quickly. Even though you could farm that gold within like 2 hours. Actually, maybe closer to 3 hours. I don't know. Gold rates, it depends what your bonus is. Because if we did explore 3 farming, we can hit around 300, 350,000 an hour. And that's 3 hours then. Which we will be doing a lot of very soon. We're going to be doing a lot of explore 12 grinding soon. To try to get tokens. Might even do 20% chasing and just use a Zugolf team. Let's see, we'll take that. Yeah, normally if you use Werewolf, you tend to use it in first slot for the most part, just to utilize it to convert back and forth. Because it regains all of its durability. But I feel like in most instances it's not really that needed. Compared to other mana generators. Valkyrie's really consistent though. Which you mentioned on the team. Actually, Valkyrie back in the day was literally the only troop in the game that gave souls pretty much. And literally every team ended up using her. It's pretty funny. There's actually a lot of really good Valkyrie teams because of that. Because for the first, after a few months into the game, Valkyrie came out. And then for like the year or year and a half after that, almost every team in the game was Valkyrie based. I think one of the most interesting ones that ever came out of it was using a bunch of freeze combined with Justice. It has a really good boost ratio, particularly for early to mid game, that increases your stats of HP and attack by a lot. And it was a great way to kill things out. They ended up changing gem spawn almost entirely because of that team. Not exactly, but just because of that team. There were several teams that was kind of a nuisance to it. But it was one of the teams that actually calls them to change how gem spawning works. Which unfortunately has made gem spawning pretty bad since, but still viable enough to use. The Justice team. Plus Justice is really easy to obtain. The only hard part is getting something like a freeze option that can easily freeze. However, that became easier ever since several months ago when we got Frostfire Keep. Because Frostfire Keep, if you throw Chaos Shards in there, you'll eventually get the Frostfire King. And Frostfire King fully traded has freeze and burn on extra turn, which is basically just a better version of Queen Mab. And Queen Mab was the troop that was normally used for this team. But now if it was to be done, it would be used with Frostfire King. But Queen Mab would still work in some situations, just because it covers more color, if you're using like a Valkyrie with her or something. The Frostfire King is overall stronger though. Hey, Pet Gnome, and we know for sure it expired. Oh no, the only problem though is someone else already activated a pet, didn't they? Yes, they did. Never mind. We still have the, what's this name pet? Which I don't need more copies of. The Eyelet. Whoops. Yeah, we still got a while before that expires in 43 minutes. So we gotta wait on that. Anyways, back to that. Let's go get this Oracle going. What is the best hero class? Titan hero class. Titan hero class is the overall best hero class in the game. Situationally, you would still use other hero classes. But if you're looking for just one hero class to use for literally everything, Titan hero class is the most versatile, strongest hero class in the game. And Titan hero class you get from Stormheim Kingdom. It's the one all the way in top right. Well, not all the way in top right. It's left of Drakzoom. It's in the top right area. Yeah, when you first start out in the game, you do use Warlord until you have access to some of the other kingdoms and finish out some of the other quest lines. It's perfectly fine to do that early on in the game. You do eventually want to switch out, though, because Warlord doesn't gain too much of a benefit from being upgraded. It gains a few really good early perks, but overall, there's quite a few hero classes better than it. Plus, Titan has quite a bit of overlap as far as what Warlord actually has that's better on it. Like, almost every good thing Warlord has, Titan also has. Except for the triple damage burning thing. But you would have to max it out to even have that, so it's not too big a deal. Oh, only 200 glory, but even our worst drop's still good. It's worth 9 gems, about, approximately. Because 200 glory is about 1 gem key. 1 gem key's worth 9 gems. Gosh, another pet gnome. Stop giving me pet gnomes. Almost makes me want to go to explore just so we stop getting useless pet gnomes. I don't even need white pet food. And even if we did 2 white pet food, isn't a lot of pet food. Whenever you already have a pet active, you just get 2 white pet food from a gnome instead of getting a pet active for your guild. Because you have a limit of 1 per hour. And on Wednesday, you have only 1 going for the entire 24-hour period. Sometimes they do the same for some Saturdays. Which I'm surprised they didn't do a pet today for this Saturday. Normally when there's no event, they do. I guess technically we have Vault event. Yeah, level 775 without a Mythic, yeah. It's definitely possible to go quite a while without a Mythic. There's people over level 1000 that have actually managed to go without a Mythic. Though I have managed to get a Mythic on every single account I've ever had before 100. But that's mostly because we were able to get into an okay or really good guild every single time. Which definitely helps it out a lot. But yeah, it definitely is possible to go to level 1000 and not get a Mythic. With enough unluckiness. Or if you just level very quickly. Because of course a level 1000 that is played for like a week. Or a couple weeks or a month. Compared to a level 1000 that's played for like half a year. Will obviously have very, very different amounts of resources. What do we take here? Let's go for Explosion. You get 1 pet food when... basically how a pet gnome works is if there's no pet active, you will get 1 white pet food, and it will activate a pet for 1 hour for your entire guild, which your entire guild will be able to access. If you already have a pet active, it will not activate a pet because 1's already activated, and it will simply give you 2 white pet food instead of 1 white pet food. That's basically how a pet gnome works. And 2 white pet food's basically the equivalent of any 1 color pet food. Because the way that food works for pets is you want to use 1 of whatever their color is, which is the best value that you get. Or you can use white, which counts as 2 of whatever their color is. And theoretically, you can also use any color on them, but it goes for, I believe, 10 times less value compared to just using them normally. So you tend to never use the wrong color onto a pet. You pretty much only use 2 foods to feed a pet. Whatever their color is, and white pet food. You should, even though you're allowed to technically use other colors, you should never do other colors onto a pet to upgrade it. How can you level up fast to 1000 in a week? Actually, that's a little bit of exaggeration. Very few people would actually ever do that. But it is realistic within a month. The easiest way to get to level 1000 within a month would be to do all explore. I mean, not all explore. Do every single quest line in the game. And then focus on a combination of PvP and quick killing explore level 1 or 2 or 3. Whatever you can one-shot easily. With some kind of empower troop like a Leprechaun into Rowan. Rowan you get for free from completing out Forest of Thorns. Pretty much like a team that we're using now. Because this can work even in early game. The only thing it might not have is Mirage Queen yet. But Rowan still gets pretty good mana accumulation even without Mirage Queen. Mirage Queen gives you half mana start on Elemental. But even without that, you could just go double Leprechaun and then pretty much make up for that. Slightly slower, but still gets the job done. Plus you get slightly more gold. Hey, first vault key. I did say we'd hand out code at first vault key. Nice. Let's see what we get from the vault key. Then we'll go hand out a code. There we go. 6 vault keys. Hopefully we'll hit at least 10 this weekend. Should be able to. Nice. Okay, let's go open this key, see what we get. That's not a key. Whoops. That's not a key. That is a treasure map. Well, I guess we're doing this treasure map real quick. Which is a pretty bad time to do so because it's a Gnome event. And unfortunately, treasure hunt does not gain any benefit during a Gnome event. Well, we'll still do it. We're already in here. Might as well. Doesn't take that long. The main way to do treasure maps is pretty much just to rush through them as quickly as possible. There's almost no real reason to play them out properly in the current state of the game. And you also want to try getting as many green chests as you possibly can. Green chests have the best value for trying to give you gems. So you should pretty much just be getting them to green chests and not getting them any further. Green chest is the way to go. And try not to accidentally get them into red chests. Alright, I think we should pretty much be good here at this point. Alright, there we go. Yep. And from that we get, what do we get? We got ourselves 3 gems. Nice. That's the only loot that really matters here. If you're doing treasure maps, you're pretty much only looking for gems, which is why you go for green chests. Because that's the best gem rate in the entire game if you're looking for an infinitely farmable way to farm gems. Anyways, that's not what I meant to click. Let's go do the vault key. That's the one I wanted to do. But yeah, doing treasure maps is about 60 gems per hour, approximately. It's the highest infinitely farmable area for gems in the game. However, it does require you to have 60 treasure maps per hour. Which later in the game you easily have laying around. Earlier on in the game you might not have as many, but you can buy them for 30 glory each as well. Hey, we gained a level off of that. Hey, we got an orb. Well, if nothing else, at least we got 5 gems, even if we don't get something good from this orb. Hopefully this is a blue or purple. Come on, blue or purple. Nope. Okay, we got junk. Orange orb early on in the game is actually pretty good. But I have every single thing in the game traded, so orange orb is about as useless as a green orb to me. Green orb is always useless, even in early game. I found myself very rarely getting much of a benefit from a small green. From a major green, yes. A major green can still be pretty useful in early game because you might be low on souls and it just kind of helps. But the best a small green can even do is save you about 1,000 souls. Well, that's still okay in early game. You don't get as many instances to do that in early game. Just because you have to have them ascended very far. Normally in early game, the best value you're really going to get from a small green is like 400 or 500 or so. Because you have to keep in mind, at that point in the game, you don't have as many things ascended. So you can't actually upgrade them as far to be able to level and use them for the final levels. So even in early game, a green orb is pretty much always bad. Or at least a small green compared to a major green. But orange orbs are actually good in early to mid game. I just don't need them personally. Oh yeah, code. Let me go do code. Let's see. Code time. I did say code. I meant to right after that battle, forgot to. Fail. I believe we're at this code, if I'm not mistaken. The one right below this, actually. Let me just double check this one, make sure. Put that right over there, put that over there. Oops, that's not the one I meant to click and copy. I completely copied the wrong one. That's the one I meant to copy. There we go. Okay, put that over there, put that over there, put that over there, put that over there. Here you guys go. Here's the redeem code used on gemsofwar.com with the game code section. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu. Whatever your game says in the bottom left corner is what you put in for your invite code on that link. Our redeem code is right over there in chat. It's copy paste around numbers and letters starting with GY. And it gives the same reward as always: 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Do keep in mind, it only works on the PC mobile version of the game. If you play on any of the console versions, it will not work. There you guys go. Okay, next order of business. Let's keep grinding. What are we at? Oracle level 88, I believe that was? 87? I know we just gained a level. What level was that? 87. Progress. Well, 11 levels to go. Okay. Let's see. What do we need here? Let's grab, Leprechaun. Hey, we got Reflect. Wait, what did we get Reflect? Oh, no, we hit on Reflect. I was going to say, what do we have on our team that uses Reflect? What's the code for? It gives 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold for your account. It's not much, but it helps out a decent amount. Or a little bit. It's particularly good earlier on in the game, because that amount of loot is a lot more effective then. I have no problem for the code. Though people generally always claim it regardless of what point they are in the game, mostly because of the 1 gem key in it. 1 gem key regardless of how deep you are into the game is good. Hey, 3 event keys, that's also good. Hello, Cooper, welcome. I have no problem, everyone. Do you know what are the gnome spawn chances outside of Vault event? I believe it's about 1 in 30, I want to say. The chance of finding a gnome in a single battle. I believe it's about 1 in 15 during events and 1 in 30 outside of an event, approximately. Might be a little bit higher outside of an event, like 1 in 40 or so. But, it's somewhere around there. I'm not sure exact drop rate. But it's approximately 3 times higher during a gnome event. Which, given as about 1 in 15 during an event, I guess we can kind of assume it's around 1 in 45 outside of an event. I feel like it's slightly more common outside of an event, but I don't know. Maybe it just seems like that. Because I know from gnome events that's about 1 in 15, and there's about a 3 times difference between the two. So yeah, about a 1 in 40, 1 in 45 is probably what it is outside of an event. Somewhere around there. So obviously you can still find them, but the rate is much slower. Does the Explorer level affect the rate of Arcane Trait Stones? Yes. The higher the level, the better. However, you also have to factor in the amount of time that it takes to do the battle. However, due to the guarantee Arcane that you get, it is best if you're looking for Arcanes, if possible, to do Explore 12. Obviously, if you don't have the capability to do Explore 12, the highest Explorer that you can one-shot would be your next best bet. So if you can one-shot Explore 3, that'd be your overall best bet. But Explore 12, if you can quick kill it, is worth doing. And by quick kill, I mean winning the battle consistently in under a minute. If you could do that for Explore 12, then Explore 12 is the location you should do it in. If you don't have the stats or troops to be able to do that, quick killing Explore 2 and 3 is probably your best bet for Arcane Trait Stone farming. Explore in general is the best place just overall, though, because Explore has a higher chance of dropping Arcanes than any other location. And the higher you go in Explore, the better. And you also get more guarantee Arcanes the higher you go as well. But due to the speed of battle, Explore 3 is pretty much the highest you go if you don't do 12. The only exception to that is Explore 5. However, you need Phoenicia to effectively do Explore 5. I don't believe there's any other method other than Phoenicia to do Explore 5. I don't think anything has enough damage otherwise. She is the strongest full AoE in the game. Wait, did they nerf it to 2 times? Interesting. I've never actually noticed. I've never noticed too much of a difference since then. I've always been saying 3 times since. Never realized it changed back then. Also, Gnome has been out for longer than that, hasn't it? I'm pretty sure Gnome has been out longer than 6 months. Our time's flying by quicker than I think. Hey, Cedric. He's in drop table if we can get the vault key. I don't need him though. I have more copies than I could ever want of him. I think we're sitting on like 20 or 30 spare copies. Because once you have 7 copies of him, he's pretty much useless. You need 5 to ascend him and then the other 2 to keep. Because there are some teams that run double Cedric. Also, it is advised to have 7 Cedrics before you upgrade. If you do it at 6, you won't be able to do double Cedric teams until you get that 7th one again. The one that you click on matters. It determines what battle you're up against. The thing that shows here basically just shows one troop from the team, and you can kind of use it to determine what kind of team they might be using. And you can always scout it out to see exactly what they're using. But it does matter which one you end up clicking on. Because this is going to be some kind of Beatrix loop team. This is going to be some kind of Goblin team. This is going to be some kind of Tina 9000 spell reduction team that's going to go heavy into true damage. You can also see some other things like the amount of loot that you'll gain from the battle. What level they are is what's in the bottom right corner over there. And the most important number to actually look at, oddly enough, is this team score number. This determines approximately what their overall strength is. And you might be noticing I'm doing specific numbers I'm actually looking for when I'm repicking in casual PvP here. I'm specifically looking for anything below 5,500 points, because I know pretty much anything below that point, particularly under 5,000, I should be able to one-shot with how much damage my Rowan currently has. And for that reason, we can pretty consistently get battles almost all the time that we'll be able to just cast and instantly kill in one shot. It's not 100% consistent, but we can kind of use that to try to get them. Hello, Chad. How am I doing? I've been doing pretty good. I feel like seasonal allergies are starting to act up again, though. Aside from that, been going good. When aren't my seasonal allergies acting up, though? I have really bad seasonal allergies. Anytime the weather wants to change, like, at all in that regard, it starts. We're getting a lot of really lucky battles in a row. Yeah, when it comes to PvP, normally if you can't win the battle within about 2 minutes or 3 minutes, it's normally worth just retreating. The only battles you tend to play fully out these days are delve battles and... actually, I guess there's quite a few. Anything that requires a sigil, you tend to play out. Anything that's like a guild-related event kind of thing, you tend to play out, like Guild Wars and stuff like that, even if you're losing. And delves, you also tend to play out. But most other situations, like PvP, Explore, and stuff like that, if you're starting to get like a really slow battle, or at least slow compared to average, you tend to just retreat from it. Just because the amount of time it takes, even if you can end up winning the battle, just isn't worth it more often than not. You can pretty much fit like a battle or two within the time of winning just that single battle. Why do I skip the bomb teams? Mostly because they're not one-shottable. If we do a bomb team, we have to wait till Firebomb casts 4 times, which relative to one-shotting it is actually relatively slow in comparison. It's not that bad compared to an average PvP battle, but compared to instantly one-shotting the entire enemy team, doing a Firebomb is not the quickest of things. Oddly enough. Because doing that's way quicker than waiting for 4 firebombs to cast. You do lose some amount of PvP points for trading. However, the amount that you lose for trading is very minimal. You can get it back within, you can get like 3 times the amount that you lost from retreating with a single win. So it's not really that bad. Like if I was to retreat from one of these battles, we only lose 10 points. But we gain 50, 58, 66. So if I retreated from this battle and then took another one that was about to give me like 60, let's say, we would have gotten a net gain of 50 points, even with a single retreat, as long as we win the following battle. So it's not really that big of a deal to retreat on them. You don't do it that often, only if it feels like the battle's going to take forever. Like if they instantly kill one of your 2 damage sources or something like that. Or they kill your mana generator, but you still have the damage to win. Stuff like that tends to go a bit too slow, and you just retreat. If Beatrix starts looping, you instantly leave. Yeah, that's how most loop teams go. Like Goblin teams, Truffle, Beatrix. Like if he even gets a cast off, you sometimes just instant leave. Just because of what comes after. Oh, that should have been full mana. Yeah, that's probably a 4x fire bomb team that we just saw right there. But, I don't know, it's just not worth it. Because if we were in that battle right now, he would have probably killed about 2 fire bombs by now. And about to explode the 3rd. But we already just won. And that was with the repick timer. So it's still quicker just to repick and skip the fire bomb. The only fire bomb I would ever take if it was low enough rating that we could still one-shot it. Let's see, we'll take that for now. Where's the last of our mana? There it is. Oh no, barrier. There we go. Lucky extra turn from the ceiling. From the sky. I always gotta take those sky gem chances normally. If it's not set up in any kind of way where it can backfire, you should pretty much always go for the sky gem chance. And while statistically it's almost never gonna happen, well not never, but you know, it's only gonna happen about 1 in 7 times, maybe less depending on what storm is active. There's still a chance that would happen properly, so they're worth going for. Let's see, we'll take that and they'll be dead. It's particularly good to use in Guild Wars. You don't tend to do extremely risky ones. Like, for example, we could have taken green there on that previous board to get a green all the way to the top there. And taken that 3 green into that other green up there. But that would have been a 50-50 either way. Whenever it's like a 2-3 to the enemy's favor, you tend to not take it. Like if it was down by 1 more. But since it was all the way at the top, it was pretty much even chance either way. What kingdom gives Anu tokens? They all do. They all give the same tokens. Tokens are not different for any kingdom. The only thing that matters is the explore difficulty that you do. The specific kingdom that you do has no effect on tokens. The only thing that has effect on the tokens you guys, the difficulty you do it on. Ideally doing explore 12 as it has the highest rate of every token in the game. Or, you know, as far as how many points you get, which allows you to get the chest open quicker, which allows you to cycle through more drops, which technically makes it the best way to get literally every token in the game. Even the lower rarity ones, oddly enough. Oh, come on. I just realized I'm not using controller, am I? I was wondering why I felt slightly slower. I didn't bother setting up controller this morning. I don't know, at this point I might not even bother. I might set it up. What is the most effective gnome farming team while also farming souls? Probably something with Phylactery. Like probably this exact same team, but Phylactery in first slot. So that you cast Leprechaun. You then get Rowan to full mana. You cast Phylactery. And then you cast Rowan, and then win. It's slightly slower, obviously, because you're blocking 7 blue mana from Rowan. But you'd basically just cast Phylactery and then gain max souls, and then rinse and repeat. And then you can just do that on Explore level 2 or 3. That's all you'd have to do. It's obviously slightly slower, but it would give you max souls if your magic is high enough. So if you set armor to your Rowan, you might not have enough. I don't even know if I have enough with Phylactery to do it without any magic. Let me see. Did I spell it wrong? How do you spell it? There it is. Oh, it's Y. Oh no, I gained 41 souls from it. But yeah, you can do something like this. And now when we do this battle, we gain max souls. That is all you would have to do. So we take whatever off the board. Oh, we're not using half mana star hero class. You'd obviously want to use a half mana star hero class. That is very important if you're going to do this. It has to be a half mana star hero class. But you do Phylactery, and then you do that. It has auto extra turn, and then boom, you win. And every single time you do this, you get about 100 souls or so. Depends what your bonus is. But yeah, and that allows you to get 100 souls and still win quickly. I won't be doing that though, of course. And that has to be a half mana star hero class in order for that to work. Otherwise, it's going to be too slow unless you get lucky. Gosh, what a big cascade. We got a map out of it. Also, if your Phylactery doesn't have 36 soul gain, you would have to run it with magic instead of pure armor in order to gain max soul capacity. Luckily, I have enough magic that I don't need to. But depending on what your magic stats are, you might need to put a Medal of Nisha or a few on. Yeah, I haven't ran out of souls for medals yet, but I probably will eventually. Once we start farming Explore 12 on a regular basis. Because I haven't really been farming Explore 12 much the last several months because I've been focusing on getting hero levels maxed. But of course, we're almost done with that. We'll be done with it tomorrow night. Finally. Full completion on all hero classes. So very close. Why does your game freeze when Leprechaun explodes gems? I'm not sure. I always have a weird issue with Gems of War, where it seems to overheat my CPU. And sometimes makes a stream cut in and out because of that. If I stream something on Switch, it doesn't tend to do that. Or a few other games on PC. But whenever I specifically do Gems of War, it's kind of weird in that regard. I've never specifically seen it lag when doing Leprechaun, though. But the biggest issue I normally have with the game as far as optimization within it is, it doesn't seem to work that well with streaming. It's really good at overheating laptops. Actually, I probably should have taken out one battle. Though if it had 25% spell reduction, we wouldn't have been able to take it. Yeah, Archmages would work pretty good for it. Does an Archmage just have half mana start too? I can't remember. If it does, it would definitely work. Because you have purple gain and half start. Can you do Amethrax 500 Delve only without potions? Yes, but it requires some amount of luck. You might also need to upgrade the kingdom a little bit further than 100. You'd run it with 4 truffles, oddly enough. and just hope you get lucky. The strategy for it is get full mana on the first 2 truffles, and then start casting truffles. But yeah, might need the kingdom or the delve upgrade to like 150 or 200 to be able to do it though without potion. I did it with potion when I did it. It was pretty much a cakewalk because enchant made it like super easy since you gain full mana on the other 2 as well. But it's definitely doable without potions. Because once you get lucky enough, you just get infinite loop off a truffle. The problem is surviving that long and getting the mana you need to be able to go and do that since you won't have enchant or anything. Yeah, I know, that was for Pure Faction. Did I clear any? Yes, 2 of them. Only 2. I did Crypt, which was the very first Pure Faction I think we ever did, because potions didn't even exist at the time. And the second one was oh, what's it called? The second one was Hall of Guardians, which is actually one of the hardest ones to do without potions. But we did one of the easiest ones and one of the hardest ones without potions. Weird mix. Yeah, those were the only 2. Crypt and Crypt Keepers and Hall of Guardians. I did with no potions. Every other one I did with potions. Based on the team you mentioned earlier, you probably want another blue damage source on your team. Something that uses blue mana that does damage. Anything you have under that category that would work really well. Let's see. We got a really few amount. I'm just gonna take the blue because I had a feeling we wouldn't get full mana from a Leprechaun cast there. That's probably killable, but I'll skip it. That one's definitely killable. Another epic ingot. Those used to be good, but now I already have all the ones I need. Now they're kind of useless to me overall. Which is a bit unfortunate. 22 battles without a gnome isn't that uncommon. Can definitely happen. It's possible to go like 100 battles without a gnome. That'd be very unlucky during a gnome event though. But technically possible. Do you know what Delve faction events are coming soon? Might wait for Amethrax then. Amethrax still a little bit ways out. The next one coming up is Silver Necropolis. And after that is gosh, I'm starting to forget what order Delves even came into the game. There's actually some way to cheat it. We could actually look at this. And a lot of these are actually in order in which they came out. Where to go? Looking for the Delve ones. So next week we have where to go? Next week we have, where is the Delve ones? There's some of them. Why are they so out of order? That's strange. Never mind. I thought they were more in order earlier. Why is it all the way over there? Because they were in order enough where you can kind of determine what the next one would be then. That's weird. Why'd they move them all weirdly? They made it so much more confusing. Actually, have they even been adding portraits for the more recent ones? I don't think they have been. Weird. Anyways. I actually forget what comes after Amethrax. I mean, after Silver Necropolis. There's a certain order that they go in every single time. I'll do a video probably covering that list once they've come out with all of them. But they always repeat the exact same order every single time. The order in which factions appear. It goes All Seeing Eye, then Hall of Guardians, then Crypt, then Sea of Sorrows, and it just keeps going from there. I forget the full list off the top of my head. But it has a really specific order that it goes in every single time. And then any new factions that come into the game go all the way at the end of the order until we eventually have all 34 of them. Which currently we have 21 delves, if I'm not mistaken. Or not 21. Yeah, 21? Wait, yeah, that sounds correct. We have about 21 delves. So we still got about another year before they're all in the game. Now we're getting there. Go grab tribute. But yeah, there's how many is it? 21, right? Yep, 21. I'll have a 22nd one soon. Where were we? Also, we should almost be at level 90 as well. Yep, 88. We're getting there. Another 10 levels to go. Then we'll do the other 2 tonight. What is this Dr. Snow card you just received? Not sure. What troop are you referring to? I know there's a snowman guy. I don't think his name was Dr. Snow, though. He was added for one of the Christmas events several months back, or several years back. Yeah, you should be able to 2-turn it. You cast Leprechaun, you take a mana, and then you cast and cast, and the Flacracy counts as a free turn. What is the best item drop from a Vault Key? Major Blue Orb or Major Purple Orb. The 4 best drops are Major Blue, Major Purple, Minor Blue, and 250 gems in that order. Though he also has a few other decent drops, like 20 gem keys, 15 event keys, and 100 gems. But his biggest 4 is Major Blue, Major Purple, Minor Blue, and 250 solid gems. With 250 gems being the best drop that he has that isn't an orb. Unfortunately, I believe we still have a pet active. Yes, we do. How much longer is on the pet? Oh, 4 minutes. I should have just waited. Oh, well, we'll find another one soon. And if I don't, someone in my guild will. That's the second time today I did that. The other timer was on like 2 minutes. Oh! I don't know. Do we wait? Do we wait? I'm just gonna kill it. Sorry, pet gnome. We'll find another one soon. If I don't, someone in the guild will. We can get like 8 battles in that time. Gosh, we found a whole cluster of gnomes. Hello, George. Any news on Apocalypse troops? It's time to craft Xenos. Nothing relevant's happening with Apocalypse anytime soon, I don't believe. I don't recall anything with next patch affecting Apocalypse troops. They're a rather useless typing of troops because they don't have any synergy with each other. So you never really get to use them for their kingdom bonus. They're not actually used for a kingdom, so you don't need them for upgrading. And, yeah, they're just not that useful because of that. Famine's the most useful one of the 5. But they're pretty bad in the current state of the game. There was rumor that, or not rumor, but they even mentioned that they might eventually add it to Cinemirage, just adding all the Doom, all the Apocalypse troops to Cinemirage, but they never ended up doing that. At least yet, anyways. They're some of the most useless troops to get. Mostly because they can't be used for kingdom upgrades, while also being useless in nature in most battles. Like, almost never would you use any of the 5 Apocalypse, except for maybe Famine, ever so occasionally. But even he doesn't get used too much, because if they have any amount of mana drain immunity, it's normally not worth it. If they have no magic, or no mana drain immunity, it can be okay to use. It's a slow but safe option. It's good at not losing, but it's pretty slow compared to other things that exist these days. He used to be meta. The most meta he ever was when mana drain immunity didn't even exist within the game. Famine almost single-handedly caused there to be a need to add mana drain immunity to the game. Tapon's pretty good. It's used mostly with Yagwe Queen of Tanya. However, that one Summer Troop has kind of basically taken over Tapon's role. But Tapon's still good nonetheless. Just not as good as the Summer Troop normally. At least in the main thing that's used for, which is Yagwe Queen of Tanya. So overall, I'd say he's still technically worth using. But, I don't know, just compared to other options, he's not that good anymore. Like, he didn't become worse, it's just other things became better. That tends to happen with a lot of troops. They don't necessarily become worse. It's just everything around them becomes better. Which I guess technically makes them worse. But, it's just everything around gets better. Which causes some things to get phased out. And Tapon's kind of one of those options that has gotten phased out in most situations. Just because they added another Empower that basically does what he does for cheaper, or for better effect. Yeah, it fits for the lore of the game and everything. For the 4 Apocalypse troops to be in Center Mirage. They just never ended up moving them there. And they're still in question if they ever will. But if they ever were to attach them to a kingdom, they're going to be attached to Center Mirage. They might be attached to it in the same way that a faction is attached to it. And that they'll probably still be called Apocalypse troops. But they would be Apocalypse and Center Mirage troops in combination. Rather than just simply Apocalypse troops. So that they could have a double bonus. Which would also be beneficial because if you use the 4 Apocalypse troops, that would also give you additional bonus compared to what they normally get. Which I was making a mention of that the other day. That they need to give like Apocalypse troops an absurd like 30 all bonus or something to actually make them viable. But if nothing else, if they at least had a Center Mirage bonus plus a Apocalypse bonus, that would at least be a little bit better. Obviously wouldn't be a perfect fix for them, but it would make them slightly stronger when using multiple of them together. What's the best troop to make as Mythic if you have none? Depends what you want to focus on. I'd probably say in the current state of the game, Iron Gut if you want to do Delves. Because it basically unlocks Delves as an option. Because of how good Iron Gut is for taking out high level Delves. Aside from that, Infernus is pretty good value. Fair Shra if you find a farm souls is pretty good value. And what other ones are really high up there these days? I feel like those are the main ones. Maybe Catches the Bull, which is actually an event key drop table right now too. Like that gets some pretty solid double kills. It really depends what you're looking for though. You definitely want to get something that's damage related. Your first Mythic should pretty much always be a damage source, just because Mythics have the most amount of really viable damage sources. And for your first Mythic, you should do that because there's so many cheap mana accumulators. But there's not a lot of cheap, really good damages off of troops. Almost all of them are under Legend and Mythic. Whereas mana generators are under every single rarity in the game. Yeah, Shiota vs. Gaia with Ketris is very, very strong. I normally go Yasmin's Pride, but if you don't have Yasmin's Pride, you get Urskia's Shield for free from 250 wins on Sentinel Hero class from Urskia. And ends up working out very well. It upskills in a very similar way. And it gives it barrier. So if it gets hit, it won't even lose any stats. Which is important because all of its stats count as damage. Best legendary troop to get to Mythic? What do you mean by with empowered? Most empowered troops actually do not gain much of a benefit from being mythicked, oddly enough. A good majority of them have some kind of board control effect, where if they were mythicked or not wouldn't really matter. I'm trying to think of one that does gain a really big benefit from it, but almost every empowered troop in the game gains very, very little benefit from actually being ascended compared to other troops. I can go double check. I don't recall many of them really gaining much of a benefit as far as empower. No benefits. A minuscule one that's not worth it. No benefit, no benefit, no benefit, no benefit. Minuscule, minuscule. Yeah, pretty minuscule. It used to be a little bit more relevant, but not these days. No benefit, no benefit. You would technically get a benefit, but you're so situational that you'd almost never be used. No benefit, a benefit, but so situational. No benefit. Oh, greed. Greed might actually be the most viable to get maxed, because he ends up giving more initial gold if you're using scouting key teams. Pretty much no benefit. Pretty much no benefit. No benefit. No benefit. None. A slight benefit. None. 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 Slight benefit. None. None. Slight. None. Actually a little bit. None and none. Or be so useless you would never use them. So yeah, technically out of every empower that you could go from legend to mythic, I think the biggest overall increase in their strength would probably have to be, I don't know, pretty much none of them. Honestly. Compared to all the things that you could use a Orb of Ascension on or something to go from legend to mythic, I honestly feel like every empower would not be worth it. Because even the ones that do gain a bit of a benefit from it aren't really that meta anymore, like Spirit Fox. I guess probably Greed, if you're running Skeleton Key Team at all. I think Greed would have to be it. It's because with higher HP and a higher magic and everything, he'll have a, he'll gain more of an initial gold, which works really well if you're doing like a Skeleton Key Team or something like that. But, yeah, a lot of empowered troops do not gain much of a benefit at all, if even any, really, other than just some durability from being upgraded. While they're really good utilities, having them more upgraded doesn't necessarily make them better. It makes them a little bit more unkillable, as far as them having higher stats. But as far as actually speeding up the rate of the win, it doesn't really help too much. Is 5.0 patch, we have big changes? Yes. Can't really mention anything about it. But we do have some pretty big changes in it that we'll be able to go over soon, TM. Actually, that reminds me, I didn't check their social media today. Let me go do that. See if they posted a spoiler image to their socials. Let's see. Let me see if I can even find it then. I shall hunt it down. Let's see. Gems of War. Nope. No spoiler image. Last thing they posted was Gnome events. Yep, nothing there. And the only thing that's pinned is the 4.8 update, which was 3 years ago. 3 months ago, I mean. Almost said 3 years ago. Yep, no spoilers, unfortunately. At least not yet. Probably get them soon. Soon, TM. Anyways, let's go and keep getting our levels. So I don't need to do this pet, right? We already have it up. Yeah, we already have it up, so I don't need to mess with that. Okay, well, let's keep getting Oracle levels. Gonna go get 9 more levels on this thing. We'll have another code at some point soon. Not sure exactly when we'll do it. But we handed out 2 last time. We'll hand out 2 this time too. And we'll have another one tonight. I'm not going to mention anything about it. We'll say soon. Very soon TM. I'll go bring out the soon TM. We'll say it soon. Let's see. Yeah, we're about to gain a level 2. Nice. Gain a lot of levels this weekend. From grinding so much. 3 Volkies in 30 minutes. That's really good. I think the best I ever did within an hour is 5. Which is way absurdly above average. So far this stream we've only gotten 1. We've been going for a while, about an hour and a half or so. Actually a little bit less because I started a little bit later. Well, it's almost an hour and a half. Let's see, it's 1 hour 27 minutes. Pretty much hour and a half. And yeah, I still need to fix that chat thing above me. It's been acting weird lately. It keeps repeating whatever the most recent message is, so I just completely hit it. Luckily, YouTube keeps track of the chat next to the stream. Even if you're watching after the fact. I just normally have it on the stream because sometimes the one in YouTube after the fact is a little bit glitchy. It's normally fine. But sometimes it doesn't work properly. The stream's still up. Might have went down for a second. It's done that a couple times today. He's yet to fully crash, though. Actually, since I got this new computer, I think we haven't had a single stream, like, full crash yet. Specifically because of something other than the program itself crashing. Which is a whole different issue. The encoder crashing. That might be slightly too strong, but we'll take it. Hopefully it's not. That should be fine. Plus we get a little bit of poke skulls, which might kill it a little bit better. Bring it, any little bit of damage helps bring it into kill range. Whenever they have slightly higher stats. And because it has split damage, any damage that we apply to anything will help us get a nice Rowan on it. Rowan, Dragon Soul, Mirage, etc. to Mythic. One would think that an Empower Troop would have better stats. Well, Empower Troops do gain better stats when they are upgraded. It's just most Empower Troops don't use magic. And for that reason, they don't gain much of a benefit from being upgraded. Because most of them are just utility things that get almost all their value once they're fully traded. But no, from the team that we're currently using, the one that would gain the most amount of benefit from being upgraded is Rowan. Leprechaun gains pretty much no benefit from being maxed. Mirage Green gains pretty much no benefit from being maxed. Rowan gains a okay amount. It's not like insanely good to go out of your way for it. But I believe she gains about 5 to 7 additional damage from being from Legend to Mythic. Which obviously isn't a excessively high amount, but it's better than nothing. 5 to 7 damage can make all the difference. Which is a way to check exactly how much damage she gains. If we go over to gemsawarddatabase.com, abbreviated as just those initials, GOWDB.com, And then we go over to troops and type in Rowan. So we don't have to wait till the entire thing loads. Go. Why is it not going? What? I never tried using it that way. Fine, I'll do it as a table. Wait till the whole thing loads. Because apparently it doesn't want to load that way. Did I spell Rowan wrong? What's it doing? There it goes. Let's try this again. Rowan. Hello? Load? There it goes. Anyways. So if we check Rowan here, let's see. How much benefit does it get from being max? So from being maxed, it gains 2 armor. Or sorry, 3 armor. 3 armor. Or sorry, that's yeah, there's 3 armor and 1 magic. So I was right. It gains 7 additional damage. Because it gains 3 armor. 2 there. 1 there. And then 1 magic. So it gains 7 additional damage from going from Legend to Mythic. Is what Rowan ends up gaining. 7 damage. Which obviously isn't like an excessively huge amount, but it's better than nothing. It's technically more than you get for fully meddling her. Fully meddling her gives her 6 additional damage. Getting her from Legend to Mythic gives you 7 additional damage. And while both those numbers seem pretty small, a lot of the battles that you use her on are pretty small margins for being able to get a full kill or not get a full kill. It's also one of the reasons why the 24 armor boost is so insanely good on her, because that's 48 additional damage, which is really gigantic if you compare it to her being fully meddled for only 6 damage, or, you know, fully elite leveled for 6, or being Legend to Mythic for 7. Being able to get 48 just from having 3 guard tokens on, or medals on, makes quite a huge difference. According to the forum, Nerf is coming to Explore 12 farming. Is it? I didn't see anything in next patch that nerfs Explore 12 farming. Yeah, any things I saw actually buffed it. Though they may have made tweaks that have nerfed it. I didn't see anything that was related to nerfing it, though. The only changes I saw would actually increase the rate at which you'd be able to go and do it. Though maybe they're counteracting that with the fact that they're going to be nerfing it slightly. Because it will be slightly quicker to be able to do it. Well, there's other methods that don't need to run Scorpius. Scorpius isn't the only build that works for farming. There are other ones. But yeah, it was a matter of time that Scorpius would eventually fall off. We already knew that. I honestly thought they would get nerfed a long time ago, though. You know, Scorpius being viable for it. Because it's such a safe while still being pretty quick method. But Gorgotha Zugoffs might start becoming more of the thing then. Because it's similarly as safe and similarly as quick. Plus it can do 20% chasing. Which is important. Phoenicia for Explore 12? Interesting. I've never actually ran her for Explore 12. I feel like when I get back to it, I'm probably going to run something along the lines of Gorgotha. Because I was trying it with like a quicker method, but I don't know. It's just way too inconsistent at winning. But I'm probably going to go super safe and use Gorgotha. Gorgotha, Thrall, Leprechaun, and what's it called? And then Zugoff. I'm probably not even going to run hero on the team because we're going to have every hero class in the game max, so we won't need to run hero anymore. That's probably the team I'm going to go. Might even just get rid of the Leprechaun and just go hero there for something. Because if we go Archmagus, that will easily get us a single purple to full mana, what's his name, Thrall. I don't know, we'll see how we run it. But I'm probably going to build into a Gorgotha Zugoff team. And just chase 20%. The only problem with that is that team will require Zugoff, and obviously a lot of people do not own Zugoff. There's still other methods, though, if Scorpius ever does fall off. Ursca's Shield Rowan team's still good. Not the quickest, but it's the most accessible Explore 12 team probably in the game. Because both of them are obtained for free. And both could theoretically be obtained within a week or less. Yeah, doesn't Bookstrider have 33% reduction in Entangle on Skull, while also having like a destroy of some kinds? The only problem with that is it doesn't initially have that. And in case they get the damage in, I'd probably still stick with Gorgotha. Not because I'd even cast Gorgotha, but just because I don't want it to die. Well, theoretically, we could do Entangle start in a kingdom that has no Entangle immunity. And that could also work pretty well. Because an Entangle start would last long enough that their skulls would probably do nothing. Hey, level 90, nice. 8 more to go. Well, technically 10 more to go. 8 more to go for now. One HP, what are you doing? Oh, I thought Bookstrider was destroy, not explode. That's still pretty good though. Doesn't Bookstrider use blue though? So it might mana block some. Not that it uses a lot of mana. Because it's pretty low mana cost, but it would block on what it does have. Oh, it has that 175% spell reduction troop. Though it probably doesn't have it traded. Nope, no traits. Wait, is Bookstrider only green? Oh, I thought he was brown-blue. I might be thinking of Forest Troll. Let's see. Because Forest Troll does have that kind of similar mechanic. At least in the sense of traits. We'll look at it. Bookstrider. I haven't used it in so long. Oh yeah, Bookstrider is only green. And has the same kind of setup that Forest Troll has. Yeah, it's destroy, not explode. But that's actually even better. Yeah, that could theoretically work. Only slight concern is the 33% initial reduction rather than higher. But once you get the Entangle down, that won't matter. Could definitely give it a shot. We'll be experimenting a lot going into next week and the following week with Explore 12. Because I'm going to be increasing the amount of Explore 12 we do substantially once we finally have all these hero classes maxed. Oh, we are getting a random stats effect at start. I forgot, we switched over to Oracle. I was wondering what that was from. Yeah, Oracle has that one random gain 1 stats effect thing. Oh, that reminds me, doesn't it have 10% extra XP? I should probably set that if I don't already have it set. I'd even bother tweaking Oracle's traits since we've been using it. Let me go do that real quick. If we can get a little bit extra XP, we might as well do so. Where to go? I thought this tree had 10% XP on it. Must have been a different one. I thought it was this one. Apparently not. Okay, is there anything we even need to make our team better out of any of these? So, random effect is fine. Extra armor and first is fine. Yeah, none of these are going to really help us much. Actually, I might as well get rid of Yellow Storm. Though the other one doesn't really help us much either. Oh, all troops gain 4 armor. There we go. That will give Verwain 7 additional damage rather than 1. Or 8 additional. Or, you know, 7 more than that. It gives 8 damage rather than 1 damage. Okay, that should be good. Let's roll it like that, I guess, then. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, there we go. Yeah, a lot of troops that haven't been as good in the past have become, or that were only average, became really, really good over time. Some of them. Even hero classes have had that happen as well. Like, Warden for the longest time was considered one of the absolute worst hero classes in the entire game. But then it became viable when Truffle came out. Because it was the only hero class in the game that has both Green Storm and Dispel simultaneously. While also having an Entangle, which was really good synergy for Delves. And it basically went from this hero class that was nearly considered as bad as Knight. And Knight is still horrifically bad. To one of the better ones in the game. Not overall best, but definitely above average, at least in that one particular team. Which is the absolute best thing to slot into it. Yeah, it's weird how things change over time. Just from a few things being added. Or just from higher stats coming into the game. Like, some things scale much better with higher stats than others. Rowan being one of them that scales insanely good off of higher stats. Particularly armor. Yeah, Thrall became, like, broken beyond belief. I actually wouldn't be surprised if he gets nerfed next patch. I hope he doesn't. But I honestly would not be surprised if he does. But you can pretty much 6 mana cost, like, nearly fill the entire team mana. It's pretty good. You'll blame me if he does. Or if they do. Well, we don't even get to see any rebounds that they do during the beta. So we can't even, like, discuss it with them. Yeah, he isn't that strong earlier in the game. But the later you get into the game, the more broken he becomes. To the point that he basically becomes the best mana generator in the entire game. With the only exception being Leprechaun. The only reason Leprechaun is used more than Thrall is not because Leprechaun is better than Thrall, but because Leprechaun gives gold and because Leprechaun is Empower. But in any battle that is lasting longer than like 30 seconds, or let's say a minute or so, like any battle lasting longer than a minute, Thrall is superior to Leprechaun. The only problem is a lot of battles are under a minute, which makes Leprechaun better. in those situations. But you can still use both of them together and hope that one Leprechaun cast brings you to full Thrall. Yeah, the easy way they could rebalance every single troop that has Gem Destroy is make their static Gem Destroy like around 10 to 20 or so. And then have their actual amount of Destroy for the rest of the value count as half their magic rather than full magic value. They've done this with a couple troops in the game. However, they haven't done this to Gem Destroyers yet. This would make it so they're still good in early game. Or actually, it would make them even better in early game. But it would scale them back for end game. So they're not better than Exploders. Or at least not literally better than every Exploder in the game. Because once any Gem Destroyer can destroy 32 or more gems, or at least 33 or more gems, it has officially become better than a Exploder. Because Exploders only get half value from all the mana they explode. And there's only 64 gems. So 33 or more destroy will, and generally speaking, will be more value. You don't get a full board clear, but you know, you still get technically more value out of the mana. Yeah, treasure teams. Not that many weak treasure teams at low level range. It would be really easy to kill, but they have such high stats that it probably isn't worth it. At least on a 13,000 battle it will. You got a mech gnome, nice. I'm still trying to find a mech gnome. It won't give it to me. It's probably going to be like next year and I'm still not going to have a mech gnome somehow. If I opened every Volkey we have, there's almost a guaranteed chance we get Mech Gnome, though. If 200 Volkey somehow does not give you Mech Gnome, I have no clue what will. 200 more! Also, I hate how so many good troop arts in the game are all in, like, really awful, never going to be used troops. Some of the best troop art in the entire game are on troops that are completely unused in the current meta of the game and weren't even viable the second they came out, which is quite unfortunate. My only complaint about 2020 is that I didn't get a Mech Gnome. It'd be a good year. Yeah, 2020 has been weird. It's been a very weird year. Just in general, as far as the world. Why do I keep 200 Volkeys? In case they ever revamp Volkeys, I want to have someone reserve. And I just happen to choose 200 for that value. Keys. About the last month or so, we've been using all of our Vault keys. But prior to that, I've been hoarding them for an eventual possible rework to them. There's a good chance they will eventually still be reworked. But we don't know when. And technically if they even will. I still keep them around just in case. It seemed like for the longest time they were never going to revamp seal keys. And then they added another 6 eventually. Which we knew they were going to do for years, but then it seemed like they never were going to, and then they did finally one day. During one patch. So it could still happen with Vault keys. Seems like it won't happen for years and then just randomly happens at some point. That it didn't kill somehow. Oh, that also didn't kill. Fail. I really like this one peacock troop, but it's not useful ever. Well, I guess it is technically a boss anti. The boss anti-troops are going to be a lot better than the tower ones going forward. Unless they do other changes to the game. Though I kind of wish the invasion troops had some kind of purpose in Tower of Doom. You kind of think in a place that is quite literally called a tower, that the troops that have extra tower damage would be able to do slightly better in some way, shape, or form. But no, they can't. Because Tower of Doom has no towers in it. Which kind of makes sense because you're in a tower. It's not like you're fighting towers. But, still. I wish they did have some overlap to that. Because there's not a single player-owned tower troop. Whereas there's currently one boss-owned player troop. And potentially going to be more bosses added in the future. But there's still 0 tower troops that are player-owned. Is each kingdom getting a boss? I wouldn't be surprised if the answer to that is eventually yes. Though I highly doubt that'd be rolled out in any kind of speed because any troop that's ever going to be a boss is going to be extremely hard to obtain. Like, think Zugoth, but slightly different in methodology of obtaining. Like, that level of hardness is how most Doom troops are probably going to be obtained. Or at least similarly. Are legendary ingots good? They're used to upgrade legendary weapons. But yeah, you can upgrade your legendary weapons with them. I believe it'd take like 50 something each to fully max out. The main way that you get them is from delves. If you're looking for legendary mythic ingots, delves give excessively high amounts compared to anything else in the game. It is extremely broken how much delves give in legendary and mythic ingots. It's the main way that you accumulate them. Just because it has such a substantially higher rate than any other location. By a very large margin. But I'm pretty sure you get like 90% of your legendary and mythic ingots, most likely from delves, throughout the course of the game. No. Mythics... Troops will never be able to be ascended above their current rarity of Mythic. They're almost guaranteed never adding a rarity above Mythic. Their version of that is basically elite levels, where you can get the bronze, silver, and gold little level thingy on them, which uses those medals and tokens. But no, they're never going to add like an ascension level upgrade beyond Mythic. There will be troops that will be under that category. Like Zugoth will be considered it as of next patch. As the only one. At least as the patch starts anyways. What was I saying? I kind of lost my train of thoughts. But they'll definitely be adding them into the future. It just, you won't be able to upgrade things into them. Mythic will still be the highest rarity. Curious if they'll ever bring that mechanic over to pets. I'd really love to see Doom rarity pets. Ones that are already maxed so you don't need to ascend them. That have really, really strong effects. And probably cost like a lot of food to upgrade. Because it would act as a food sink as well. One food sink I really wish was in the game. Hey, level 91, nice. I wish you could, they said they would probably never implement it though, when I asked about it. which is unfortunate. But being able to feed pets so that they give you a temporary weekly bonus. Basically, like, you could feed a pet, and let's say it gives you like a 1 times extra bonus. So let's say if you have like a 3 times dragon bonus currently, you can bring it to a 4 times dragon bonus by like feeding the pet some food for the week. And then you have like a weekly extra bonus. I thought it would be a really cool idea to sync food and give like a small amount of extra bonuses that you could do if you wanted to. But unfortunately, it never ends up implementing something like that. Instead, during a Q&A one time that they probably wouldn't end up implementing something of that mechanic, which is unfortunate. There's currently no food sync once you've upgraded all the pets. And no way to get them any more bonuses than once they're fully maxed. Then I hope they eventually do cosmetics for pets. That is still not out of the question yet. That could still happen. But I would love to see cosmetic for pets. Also, I'm not sure they'll ever do it, especially with how deep it's already gone. But I would love to see like a special animation thingy. Or, you know, like something special with the art when you fully maxed out a pet. Especially if they ever expand out the pet system. If they ever do. Because there's currently no difference between a pet and a maxed out pet. No difference at all. It would be cool if it had like some kind of small visual distinction. Even if it was something really small. Even if it's literally just an animation behind them or something. Which would be very easy to replicate for any of them. For PvP key teams, is that 2 times Cedric, Egg Thief, and Key? Is it a better team? It takes a while to get gold for Egg Thief. You tend to use that only for Explore 12, not for PvP. For PvP, you tend to run only 1 Cedric, and you run Cedric, Egg Thief, Skeleton Key with Greed or Leprechaun. But no, you tend to only use the double Cedric for what's it called? For Explore 12. For anything else, it's not worth using because it's too slow. You'd have to use a single key team if you want to do it for PvP. Because you need that increased speed from either having gold immediately or from having mana immediately. Depending on if you go for Greed or Leprechaun. But Greed, of course, being the gold and Leprechaun being mana. Well, of course, Leprechaun does both mana and gold. But it gives a really small amount of gold compared to Greed maxing it out immediately. Come on, Volky. You know you want to. I don't need souls. Mid-range souls. Why you gotta do that to us? Yeah, we're getting there. 91. So close yet so far. We're about to gain natural hero level 2. Though it looks like we're getting close. That bar moves so ridiculously slowly. How do you get the low-level PvP teams? You can never get them that low. Having a very low rating on tier 15 or 14 tends to bring them out more often. That's the easiest way to try to bring them out. Other than that, you could try changing your defend team as well. Something weaker. Specifically weaker in lower team score. Oh no, I didn't want to repick that. That was like a perfect weak battle. Hey, when the click misses. The repick button's in the same location as the do battle button. Oh yeah, we'll go for explode there. Luckily it's still full mana. Luckily it might not have been enough. Luckily it is. If anyone else has any other questions, let me know. We'll still be here for a while. Because ideally we'll go to about 97, 98 or so on that. Probably hand out a code like we did yesterday at 96, I think, at this point. Seems like the game plan. 95 or 96. Hey, Valkyrie! Who knows? Maybe once we get our third Valkyrie. Whichever happens first. Level 96 or third Valkyrie. I think we'll hand out code then. We go add that to our thing. Where's my Valkyrie counter? Boom! 7. Yeah, let's go see what we got from it. Hopefully something good. Let's go check. Over to games, over to key. Let's go see what's in the key. Come on, Gnome. Gnome. No! What are you doing? Why are you trying to escape? There we go. Luckily the Cedric can't escape. Well, major orb. This could be good. And regardless, we leave with 1 gem key. Yeah, major purple. We've gotten 2 major purples this weekend. Very nice. That is 675 gems worth of seals right there. Very, very nice. That means between the 2 of them, that's what? 1,350 gems just from 2 drops off of gnomes this weekend. Very nice. Just from 2 of our 7 keys. So most of our other keys have been bad other than those 20 gem key drop. Yeah, those are the big drops we've gotten so far this weekend. Well, technically the 250 gem 2, I guess we could almost count. We got that from the World Lore event. Or not the World Lore, I mean from Tower of Doom. We got 250 gems from Tower of Doom this week. We got 2 major purples from 7 of those keys. And 1 of those keys gave us 20 gem keys. So overall, pretty good weekend for Gnome event. As far as the drops for the Valkyries. Definitely above average. Because just between those 7 keys, our average gem value has been 100 something. And I normally value a Valkyrie at about 80. Because I feel like that's about where its drop table average is at for gem value. But we're currently at an average over 100 gems per key. Actually, we're almost at an average over 200 gems per key. Actually, we are. We're over 200 gems per key in value right now. Mostly because we got really lucky from 2 major purples. Though those only are for 675 value if you have every single Guardian troop in the game maxed. They're about half the value if you don't. It's still pretty good value. For Explorer, once you hit 100 Myth Stones, is the Mythic boss hard to beat? It's about as difficult as the battles. If you can kill out Explore 12 battles, you can kill out the Explore 12 boss. It's not too much harder. It's almost about the same difficulty as normal Explore 12. So if you can do Explore 12, you can do the Explore 12 boss thingy pretty easily. You gathered enough resources to craft the second Zugoff. I would hold off on that just in case. But, nice. Don't do it, though. We don't know if they might eventually add another Zugoff for the exact same cost of resources. And it would definitely be worth saving for that instead. What level is Oracle? 91. I believe it's still 91, right? Yeah, 91. And we'll hand out next code at either 96 or next Valkyrie, whichever happens first. I'll go till about 97 or 98 and then finish the rest tonight. Or at 96 I might even stop just to go grab dinner. We'll see. Because I haven't actually ate anything today. I made sure to eat before the yesterday's stream, which was a good idea. This time I didn't. Probably should have. I can already feel low on energy. Ugh. Yeah, we're about halfway there as far as relative to how much we've done so far. I'd say it's about half. We started at 85. We're up to 91.5 right now. Hello, Gustavo. Welcome. How much time is left on our current pet? I feel like it's getting close to the next pet switchover. Well, apparently not yet. Nope, still got 14 minutes on it. Still got 14 minutes. That's too high, probably. That's plenty low enough, though. Gosh, level 11. We're really going low. I don't think I've found someone under level 10 yet. This weekend. You can tell because they'll have a common border. Ooh, 1,000 glory from that, too. Nice. 1,000 glory from fighting a level 11. As a level 1,557, I think we are at right now. As a level 1,557. We got 1,000 glory from a level 11. Yeah, I don't think we found anyone under level 9 yet. Or, you know, 9 or below. Like a single digit level. We found double digit levels. And even an 11 like that battle we just had. It's really hard to find someone that low because obviously people were that low for a very, very short duration. Also, I believe for them to be able to show up in PvP, they would have had to have fought in at least one PvP battle. And that combination of being under level 9 and fighting at least one PvP battle is a very, very, very small number of people. Is PvP even available that low? Yes. I believe you have access to it as early as level 5, if I'm not mistaken. In the current state of the game. I'm actually not 100% certain, but I believe around level 5 you get the first time when the game kind of like makes you hey, you should go play like a PvP battle or something. I forget if it actually like literally forces you to, but I think it encourages you to pretty heavily around that level or so. Yeah, I believe it's level 5. Or somewhere's around that level. And kind of determine what level they are just by looking at their what their troops are relative to their border color. So we can see he's over level 100, and based on that team, I would say 157. Okay, 234. That's around there. Hey, level 12. And we can tell that he'll have a green border then. What skills would a new boss have? We don't know yet. Oh, we kind of do, but I'm not going to mention them yet. Another level. What's with all these low levels today? Finding a lot of really low levels. 22. Like even lower than the normal low. Like they're low, so low that they have like a green border on their card. Which means level 10 to 49 is green border. So we know that she's somewhere down there. Yep, level 11. Actually, we already fought her earlier. We got a really good cycle. Like half our cycle right now is people under like at level 100. Very weird. Hello, Ricardo. Welcome. Hey, we got some really good things on our one trophy right now. Gosh, we don't even need a repick, and they're all like under level 50 or so. And there's a 77, which is pretty much equally as low relative to our damage output. And it's also low enough that they won't have any kind of traits that will get in our way. Oh no, the high battles, they're ruining it. Give us back our weak battles. Come on, we're doing so good there. Nope, we still haven't found Mecha Gnome yet. We got 7 Valkies, 2 of which were to stream. But we have yet to find a Mecha Gnome. No Mecha Gnome. Of course, we've been working up class XP. We're at 91 Oracle right now. And we're going to about 96, 97, 98, somewhere around there. Then finish the rest tonight. Oh, never mind. We're at 92 right now. Forgot we gained a level. Yeah, I was joking earlier that we might not get Mecha Gnome until next year. Which I hope is not the case. Whenever I finally open up all those vault keys, we'll definitely get Mecha Gnome. Like, there's almost no way we won't from opening that many keys. I'm not sure when I'll be opening those keys yet. Hey, this is a low enough level that even with that team score, we should be able to one-shot this. I am decently confident that we can. Yep, there we go. You got 2 from 26 Valkies? Nice. Yeah, I've been getting some comments here and there. None from the current 7. But we have been getting some comments. Just haven't been the comment that I need, specifically the Mecha Gnome. It's only a matter of time. We're obviously eventually going to get it. When? Who knows? Soon, TM. Oh my gosh, we still got a pet active. How much longer is that timer? I thought it was almost over. 7 minutes. It's getting there. Come on, give us a pet we actually need. Let's go back. We'll find another pet soon. If we find it too soon, we might just want to hold on it. So we got 7 minutes so it changes over. If we find one in like 5 minutes, I'll probably hold it. Otherwise, I'll just keep doing battles. Yeah, on PC, or really any platform, if you're winning too quickly, you sometimes have to restart the game. Otherwise, it really starts to get laggy. Oh no, I wanted that battle. No! I got rid of the really weak battle. Now I gotta repick a bunch. I could probably taken that one. Where all my weak battles go? I'll take this. I think we have enough damage for it. There's no enough hero level that should be able to, and we definitely can. The only reason the team score is even so high is because of the hero itself. Hero gets scored very weirdly for team score. There used to be quite a few glitches with it too, with how hero would affect your team score. I'm not even sure how it fully affects it compared to troops, but I know it's a lot different than how a normal troop gets calculated, which can make a team score seem inflated if the hero has a lot of levels on it. Which is why we can actually still find really weak battles in the 5000s. Because it's the hero that is upgraded while everything else on the team is non-upgraded. How many power orbs do I have? 0. Though I have the capability of forming 3 1/3 power orbs. If I was to convert every orb I have to power orb resources. So we almost have 4 power orbs. However, I technically have 0 because, you know, we have 0. But I have the resources to almost convert into 4. Should you save your event keys for next week, Merlantis Mythics? Or not that good? No, next week is probably worth skipping for event keys. The best art for troops and abilities. Well, that's extremely subjective. I do hate that some of the best art in the game are on completely unviable troops, though. I probably should have checked the timer. That might have been too early. No, it's too early. We probably have like 3 minutes left. I should have definitely held that one. Yeah, 3 minutes. Oh well, we can find another one. They're all over the place. If I don't find it, someone in the guild will. But I think we'll hand out code actually at 95 then. And probably wrap up soon after then. Because I think I'm going to grab dinner soon then. So we'll do 95 and then we'll finish the rest tonight. I think that'll be the game plan. We'll still have another code to stream though. For the second code. Looks like we're about to gain a hero level as well. Oh, we need our class levels, not hero levels. Oh, hero level's still good. We get an extra stat once we reach level 1,600. We're getting close to it. Get in there. I want to try reaching level 1,600 before the end of the year. And we should be able to. Relative to how much time has gone by so far this year, we're pretty much on track to. We got 5 months left and we need 40 more levels. So I guess we're ever so slightly behind then. Because technically we need 43 more levels. Well, technically 42 because we're about to have the other one. There's 6 months left, not 5. Did I miscount? Oh, wait, there is... Wait. Oh, you're right, there's... Gosh, I can't count, can I? Oh, no, I'm out of it today. Yeah, there is 6 months. You're right. Yeah, we're ahead then. Barely ahead. Yeah, we're ahead. Yeah, I'm not sure why I thought 5. I think it was because I was like adding the number to it. But you have to count the full month that's available as well. So yeah, duh, there's still 6 full months. Never mind, we still got plenty of time on that. Because we're more than halfway with half time left. Which means technically we're exactly halfway because of the how the increase of the thing works. We're almost there. 42 more levels. That'll be take a while though to get. But for now we're just focusing on class levels. And Explorer 12 will get us an okay amount of hero XP. It's a bit slower than running like Explorer 2 or 3. But it's not horrible for it. What do we need here? Take a free turn. Always good seeing that on starting board. Help speed it up quite a bit. Oh no, barrier, what are you doing? I didn't notice that. I should cast a leprechaun just to get it off. There we go. Hey, what are you gonna drop us, Valky? Nope, 5 gems. Still good drop. Not as good as a Valky, but still good nonetheless. Gotta slowly repair those gems. We've dipped under 20,000 for so long, gotta get it back up. Yeah, I'm not gonna have much I really need to sink my gems into anytime soon either, which is kind of nice. Because we finished every faction in the game, other than new factions coming out. But not counting those, yeah, we don't really have anything we need to sink our gems specifically into necessarily. So we have that done. We have, we are going to have all the classes done, so we're never going to need to spend gems for EXP. And there's really nothing new coming next patch that we'd really need to sink it into for the most part. Hey, someone in the guild found a pet. Unfortunately, they keep finding ones I don't need. Unfortunately. Yeah, that is completely useless. Not even going to bother doing it. Because we can't get any gnome drops while we're doing it. Plus, it's slightly slower XP. Oh, and of course, now we find a pet gnome. Someone in the guild already found it. A little late. By about a minute or two. Yep. Should take a net. Luckily we get right into another easy battle. Also, we haven't been using controller, but we still been going at almost the same speed. It is slightly slower, but it's not too big of a difference. It definitely adds up, though. I'm just like so naturally like clicking the locations. It's not too big a deal. Though some screens you just always can get through quicker with controller, even if you do perfect clicks with clicking. No, I don't want fire bombs. She's gonna give us really weak fire bombs. And almost no one at that low level range would know to set fire bombs as their defense team. Which is why you never see us actually taking a firebomb team. Because anyone who would know to set a firebomb team probably have enough team score that they need to set his firebomb team. Compared to just setting like 4 treasure or something. But a really low score. But that's actually more viable than 4 times fire bombs. If you're around like a really low score. Like if you're around like a 3,000 to 8,000 or so score, it's better to set 4 treasure most likely than to set 4 fire bombs. However, if you're higher than that, you're probably better off going a firebomb as your defense. Let's see. How to get low level enemy in casual PvP. You have to keep your rating very, very low or get it very low by being around tier 15 or 14, which requires around 500 to 600 rating or so for PvP. Specifically this. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? That number and this number. This needs to be tier 15 or 14, and that needs to be anywhere from about 500 to 650 or so. Somewhere within that range. And then it will increase the chance of you finding weaker enemies. You can still do it by a couple other means, like setting weak defense and such. But that probably has the biggest amount of manipulation on it, being in a really low tier bracket. Doesn't guarantee that you get weak battles, though. But it definitely helps find them. The Explorer is actually quicker than this, though. If you're looking for classic speed, this is technically quicker. But if you're looking just for gnomes, Explorer 2 and 3 is actually quicker than this. And it doesn't require any setup. You just simply go into an Explorer and be good to go. And as I mentioned, we'll hand out a redeem code at 95. We're almost there. Soon, TM. Very close. Pet gnomes are only in PvP and arena. So yes, the method we're doing right now is the quickest way to get pet gnomes, if you need one for your guild. But yeah, this is the quickest method of getting pet gnomes. Obviously, you only need to get 1 per hour. Though it technically lowers your overall loot, in a way. Because if you get a pet gnome when you already have a pet gnome, you're getting a lot less value. So in a way, doing PvP like this could actually lower your loot. Not just in the sense that you're winning slower, but in the fact that you're getting more pet gnomes. Because pet gnome drops if you already have a pet gnome active is pretty bad. It still has Valkyrie chance, but his default drops are all bad. Because they have no gem value. He's only good for activating the pet. Beyond that point, for that hour, he's like the worst gnome you can get pretty much. Maybe not the absolute worst. That's pretty far down there. Well, I guess technically, for most people, if you already have a gnome active, getting a gnome probably actually, or getting a pet gnome probably would be the worst gnome you could get in almost any point in the game. The only situation that would not be true is if you have every ingot in the game, or, you know, every weapon maxed, but you still don't have all the pet max. If you were in that camp, then it wouldn't be the absolute worst. Otherwise, yeah, pretty much is the worst gnome, if you already have a pet active. Otherwise, it's one of the better ones if you don't have a pet active. As weird as that may seem. But of course, the main reason you'd want to do them is the pet activation for an hour. Well, you don't want to go too low on points. It is possible to go too low. I wouldn't go lower than about 500 to 700. Or 500 to 650, I mean. Like, staying around that range. Like, kind of like the 550 to 650 range. I feel like is the best range for finding weak battles. You don't really want to go too much higher or lower than that. Because if you go too low, actually, I'm not sure what your matchmaking would be if you go too low. I've never actually gone to 0 myself. But, from what I heard from people, it, doesn't seem to be that good. So I might as well stick with 550 to 650. That I know works. Or at least for me it does. And the main reason for that is that's where the bulk of the bracket stuff is. And for all, like, the people that are pretty, like, much barely playing the game, you can find a lot of people around this category. Like, a good majority of the people that we're finding right now, unless there's other people also doing this method, are people that generally aren't playing the game that much. They're still playing the game, but they're not really playing PvP that much. If barely at all. Which means they have a higher chance of being low. Yeah, if you go too low, the only people that will be there are pretty much people that deliberately lowered their score. Or endgame players that are just doing really bad because they're fighting against really high-level teams. Very few newer players would be able to tank their score that low. Mostly because battles are heavily in the player's favor in early game. Because you just have so much damage relative to the average battle. Obviously, if they keep taking like higher battles, they're going to lose to them. But they'd kind of get the idea after losing a few times to a really strong 3 trophy to not take the 3 trophy. If it's a really high team score or something. So they wouldn't end up tanking their score that far. And the reason you kind of want to keep it around 550 or 650 is because you'll be losing and winning defend battles over time. And you ideally don't want it dropping below 500, and you don't want it exceeding 700. You want to keep it between 501 and 699 ideally. Though a little bit more in between, just because you can win and lose battles on defend. So 550 to 650 works pretty good. Yeah, we're really low on it right now. 57,000. Forget where we were at the end of last week. I think it was 60,000 something by the end of the week. Oh, that's not what I meant to cast. Not at all. Because we should be pretty close to that next level. I'm speaking about winning or losing. We just lost one, which brings our rating down some. Which might end up changing what we find here as well. Pretty much any rating change can affect it some. Yep, we're getting there. Halfway to that next level. But after that, we'll probably get to 95 and call it a stream for now. Actually, I might even hand out code at 94 then. And then just get 95. And I'm gonna grab a bite to eat. If anyone still has any questions or anything you want me to go over, let me know. Make sure to do so. Come on, there we go. Easy battle. Give us those free XPs. Oh, the extra turn's still there. There wasn't any green next to it. I mean, not the yellow, I mean. Hello? There we go. Didn't want to repick for a second there. Problem is if you drag click it, it won't actually initialize the click. It's one of the reasons why when we click on the battle and then it ends up clicking repick on the thing when I meant to actually click on the battle. That can happen because you like drag click. A drag click won't actually click the button. So if I do like this, it won't click the button. Like I clicked it, but as you can see. But you're drag clicking it so it doesn't actually count the click. That's what happens if we do this too. If you drag click it and then click over here, it doesn't actually count as a click. I don't think mobile has that issue, like if you have touchscreen. But mouse has that issue. It's a little finicky sometimes when you're clicking really quick. Because if you hold the click too long, it while dragging it, it doesn't count it. Which is kind of weird. I guess if you accidentally misclick something, you can just make sure to keep holding it and just drag it away, so it doesn't end up clicking it. You got catchers from event keys. Can you use it at higher level delves instead of High King Iron Gut? Yes. However, you have to use them with Urskea's Shield or Yasmin's Pride. Urskea's Shield you get from 250 wins on Sentinel Hero class, which you get from Urskia. And Yasmin's Pride you can't currently get if you don't have. It's obtained during one of the event weeks from Soulforge. So Urskea's Shield would probably be your best synergy option for it. And you basically just buff it up with Urskea's Shield, cast on second slot, cast on fourth slot, win. Rinse and repeat. And you most likely want to do like a Titan Hero class so your hero doesn't die in first slot. You'd also do with Shaman. It's quicker with Shaman, but once you start getting to later delves, it becomes more of a liability to die if you're doing Shaman. Because of course Shaman gives half mana start to Ketris. Yeah, Ketris is a pretty good pickup this week then. He is still an event key drop table if anyone wants to try for him. The drop table is actually pretty good this week. And it's going to be pretty bad next week because it's just Merlantis, so we have some event keys laying around. You might want to try this week. Ketris is a really good find if you can end up pulling him. Though chance is only 0.1% per key, so do be wary of that. Really low chance. You could open 1,000 keys and still not get it. Though with that many keys, you'd most likely get it. But he's one of the better mythics in the game. Catches the ball, that is. Oh, so if I'm not mistaken, doesn't this kingdom only have one mythic? Still? I forget. Does Wild Plains have a second one yet? Because if it only has the one, that makes it even better. Because that means you guarantee get catchers then. Can't remember if it has a second one. No. Yeah, he is the only mythic from this place. So if you end up getting a mythic, it's guaranteed catches the ball, which makes it even better to go for it right now. Though the chance is pretty low, though. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a base rarity. Yeah, he's the only mythic in this kingdom. Interesting. I wonder if it ever gets another mythic if full tourist teams will actually be viable again. Well, they kind of are now. But, you know, it's still missing like that one really big mana generator to really put it together. If we get that off a mythic from this place, they could be really strong out of nowhere. Even stronger than they already are. Yeah, it's an okay event key drop table. You get all the null troops, all 5 of them, that currently exists, and you have a chance at Ketrish, which is the main drop you'd ideally want. The 2 legends are pretty horrible, though, from this place. That's the only bad thing about the drop table this week. The legends are horrible, but the mythic's really good. Yeah, even 1,000, as I mentioned, is not guaranteed chance. That's just at the drop rate. That's by no means 100%. Oh, wait, was that next mythic actually from Wild Plains? Oh, that's bad. Because it's not a mana generating mythic. I forgot about that. Yeah, that one really good skull one is from Wild Plains, wasn't it? Oh, 300's pretty good. If you got it within 300, that's actually pretty solid. Definitely would be worth it then. At that many. Hey, a treasure team. I was just saying that people this low don't normally use treasure. I'm actually really surprised. Oh, it was 8. Yeah, that's... Hey, this was the exact same strategy I was saying. If you're around that team score, then you would do it. That is a very smart level 825 player. That was the exact thing I was saying. Like, that would be the level range where you'd want to go run treasure. This one's technically doing it, too. I want to see if we can actually do it. I like how I mentioned it, like, 30 minutes ago, and now we're finding it for the first time. Back to back. Because that's actually a really good level range and amount of team score to run treasure team as your defend rather than firebomb. Unfortunately, that's not enough for me to one-shot, though. Unfortunate. Stop taking my mana. Let me win. So that one, unfortunately, can't take. It's a little bit too high. But the other one we can. You're going to try for it now? Good luck on that. Good luck on the event keys. If nothing else, at least you'll get the null troops upgraded. They're really good for Guild War defense, so if you're lacking Guild War defense, you'll at least have those to go use for it. You got him in only 100 event keys? Nice. I hope the next Mythic doesn't take us too many keys. He's a really good one. And I'd rather show more teams with him than spend a bunch of the video just opening keys. But he's right around the corner. Next Mythic's in 2 weeks from now. Hopefully we can do it in under 1,000 keys. Only time will tell. Yeah, next week's event key drop table is not even going to be good. I believe the week after that was also not good. So we got a little while before we get a good event key drop table again. Because Marlantis next week doesn't really have anything too over the top. Nothing really stands out as like a absolute must-have kind of thing. KrissTurtle's good, but it's such a low rarity that you can simply get it from gold keys and glory keys. You open 50 at a time, and after 350, you got 2 Ketruses. Nice. 2 Ketrus is actually one of the mythics that's viable with 2 as well. Congratulations. Very nice. But yeah, you can run Mountain Crusher. Actually, one of my favorite combos with it is Pure Green. Well, Pure Green because it's a different weapon color. You know, not necessarily Pure Green, but it's Pure Green for like Tower of Doom and Delves. It's Mountain Crusher, or Urskia's Shield, or Yasmin's Pride. Ideally Yasmin's Pride, but something along the lines of Mountain Crusher, Tulio, and double Ketrus. If you keep casting that onto green, it gets some really, really good value. Actually, Jar of Eyes or Yasmin's Pride would be better there. But it ends up working out very, very, very well. Especially when you have your full team as green like that. So that you can do it into a full mana gain to your entire team. Other than that, you can use it with like Mountain Crusher Gimlet. You can do it with like Mountain Crusher Leprechaun. You could do it with Mountain Crusher, what's his name? Harpy Mage. You could do it with Urskia's Shield to a single Ketrus and then just do 2 mana generators. Quite a few different ways you could do it. It's a pretty strong team. Ketrus and double Ketrus is one of the better damagers in the game. It covers a lot of ground. I feel like it's mostly used for Delves, though. I use it a lot more often for Delves than I do for Tower of Doom. Though it does sorry. I said that in inverse. I use it a lot more for Tower of Doom than I do for Delves, But, I'm not sure why I don't use it for Delves as much. I think it mainly has to do with the fact that you have more colors to use. Which normally opens up to some different teams rather than having to use, like, Ketrus or double Ketrus. But still good, nonetheless. It's one of the higher damaging casts, and it upscales, which is good. Anything that has upscale is really good in the current state of the game. There's a lot of content that came in last year between Tower of Doom and there's other things in the past, like pets, delves. They all have stat lines that you kind of need to have troops that can scale up with. And while Ketrus doesn't specifically scale himself, there's other tools that you can use that scale with him, like Urskia's Shield. Most people assume it will obtain through the new event passes, and that is when the event will start. The what? Oh, sorry, what was your question, Corey? I missed your question. What was your question? You almost have your 8th power orb. Should you wait until the next Zugoff is released to see which one you should craft? Zugoff is not, or if they are going to be adding a new Zugoff, it is not obtained through the new system. I can tell you that. Unless they're going to make adjustments to it, in which it will. But the new system being added next patch is not the way that you would obtain the new Zugoff-like troops. The red rarity troops. The Doom troops, or whatever they're called. I'm not even sure if they're going to rebrand that name. Because Doom doesn't really make sense for if every red card is going to be named that. You might come up with a different term for it. For a safe Tower of Doom team without Obsidious, safest thing you can do is hero in first slot with Mountain Crusher as Titan Hero class, followed by a damage source, a mana generator, and one other safety option. Something along the lines of that kind of build. It depends what you have for your damage source as to what you would build around for the rest of your team. Mountain Crusher Gimlet's pretty strong because you have an HP gain for your first slot. You have Barrier on Brown, and you get to create Brown. It's a really, really safe option. And then if you had Urskia's Shield to feed into something that boosts based on armor, you could end up getting pretty good value. And even if you don't own Ketrus, you can use... oh, wait, never mind. For red, you won't be able to do that. I was going to say you can use that one other Taurus troop, but I forgot he doesn't scale based on the thing. Well, you can use that other Taurus troop. You could use the red Taurus one. The one that you get from Guild Keys. Doesn't he scale off armor? That could end up working. The red Guardian Taurus. I forget his name. But like Mountain Crusher, Red Guardian, Taurus, Gimlet, one other troop. If you don't own Ketchers or something, that could work pretty well. It would be relatively safe. Because he has 50% score reduction as well, even if your hero dies. Which ideally it wouldn't with that much barrier spam. And the fact that it's getting extra HP from Gimlet. Once you have Gobtruffle and Beatrix, what legendary troop should you try in Underworld? If you don't have Mirage Queen, get Mirage Queen. Mirage Queen is obtained from Sunken Fleet. It gives 50% mana start to Elementals, which includes Gobtruffle. But also includes things like Rowan, which is what we're using it for right now. It's this troop right here. It has the one of the best curses in the game, having 4 times curse for 15 mana costs. It has a Doomskull convert. It has score reduction. And the most important thing is it has 50% mana start, which that alone is pretty much 90% the reason why it's used. It's actually the strongest 50% mana start in the entire game right now. Yeah, Ferocity was that one troop I was referring to. That one red troop to put in second slot on that one team. Has 50% score reduction, and it has gosh, what was the other benefit of it? It has that ability thing that scales based on armor. So if you were doing it with Urskia's shield, it would be able to boost ratio off of it. So that you have upscale. If you don't have anything else that will do it. And that everyone has because it's common. And if you don't currently have it, you can literally just go get some seals and then open some keys and you'll have it within like an hour or two. Which reminds me, I haven't claimed my seals yet this week, have I? I'll go do that. There's my guild. Guild. How are we doing on tasks? Come on, guild. How are you guys doing? Come on, I still got one more. Come on, guild. Stop slacking. I see red numbers. I see a 0. Do I need to kick you? You've been away for 6 hours. Why haven't you donated gold? Go donate gold. Gosh, we got 3 zeros. What are you guys doing? Osmin, you're gonna get kicked. What's with all the zeros? We got 3 zeros. What are you guys doing? We still got, like 3 million left almost. Actually, a little bit more than 3 million. Because I forgot we ran out of gold. But anyways. What was I doing? I was about to go check something. And completely forgot what it was now. Got completely sidetracked. Oh, yeah. I was going to go check my, claim my seals. If I didn't already. Oh, no, I already did. But yeah, the seal drop table. The drop table over here is how you get Ferocity. This drop table over here. You just open a bunch of these. And there's 12 different Guardians you can get. One of them's Ferocity. So within about 24 keys, you'd probably get it, approximately. And you can farm that many seals within like an hour or two. If you haven't already gotten them. Though you do have to be in a guild to be able to do that. But it can be literally any guild. So hello, Elite Gaming. Welcome. And as I mentioned, we'll have the redeem code as soon as we get that level. Stop giving us pet gnomes when we already have one active. Which we should be almost halfway at, I believe. Let's see, how close are we on it? I think actually we might have a little more distance than that. Yeah, a little bit more. 3/4. Once we get that level handout code then. And that'll probably wrap up for now, just so I can go grab lunch, dinner, breakfast. The one meal of the day. Gosh, stop giving me pet gnomes. We already have one active. And you're pretty useless otherwise. It's gonna feel so weird after tomorrow, not needing to level hero class anymore. Because we've been having to do this for 2 years now. Almost 2 years. Yeah, about 2 years at this point. Because around this time last year is when it happened. Or, sorry, around this time 2 years ago is when the clash trees ended up coming into the game. So for about 2 years, we've been having to go out of our way, at least to some degree, to switch to teams that we would do solely for the purpose of gaining EXP on them. But as of tomorrow, we will never need to do that ever again, unless they somehow expand out heroes at some point. But at least in the current state of the game, we would never need to ever switch to a non-needed hero class ever again. We would only ever use hero classes based on what we actually need for our team. Oh, sorry, did I not see your question? My bad. Let's see. He gave me a Vault Key yesterday? What gave you a Vault Key yesterday? What gave you a Vault Key? Oh, you got a Vault Key off a Pet Gnome yesterday. Nice. Yeah, I got one as well yesterday. Or was it the stream? I know we got one at least once. Yeah, it's possible. You get a Vault Key and you get a Vault Key from the Pet Gnome and you still get the normal drop too. Pet Gnome is the only gnome in the game where you get both the normal drop and the Vault Key. So if you get a Vault Key from a gnome and you don't have a pet active, you'll get a Vault Key, 1 pet food, and an activation of pet. And if you get it while you do have 1 active, it'll just be a Vault Key and 2 pet food. But it's the only gnome in the game where the normal drop does not disappear if you get a Vault Key simultaneously with it. I wish all gnomes were like that, but it only applies to pet gnome. After the Magic Kingdoms, what kingdom should you focus on leveling the power levels? That is based mostly on personal preference, depending on what you feel like you need. It's also, when you're doing power levels, it depends on what you have a lot of troops of, more so than anything. Also, it depends if you're going for 5-star or 10-star, or like what range you're at. But, you generally do it based on which kingdoms you have the most amount of troops in after you've done all the magic, just because they will be easier to do. So you can do it basically on one of 2 different ways. Whichever kingdom you have the most amount of troops in, and then the next ones that you can do it based on, which you can always be technically doing it based off of, is whatever the current event week is. So right now it is a Wild Plains event, so you can open event keys this week to easily gain Wild Plains troops in order to upgrade the Wild Plains kingdom. And then next week you can do the same thing for Melantis, and then the next week you do it for another kingdom, so on and so forth. So every single week there is an easy way to technically upgrade the kingdom to pretty much any star level you want. It might require some amount of resources, of course, mostly event keys, but you would always be able to do that for a specific targeted kingdom, month by month, week by week. And then whenever you're not specifically focusing on that because you ran out of resources, you would do it basically based on whichever kingdom you have the most amount of troops in. And whichever one you have the most amount of troops in will be the easiest one for you to get to star levels. Because generally speaking, having more troops makes it easier to upgrade the kingdom. Because you have more things to upgrade, which means you probably have more lower rarity ones to upgrade. Which also means you likely have more of them already just naturally upgraded. That makes it a lot easier to get them upgraded if they have more. Well, you still do it based on that, even if you have every single troop in the game, because some kingdoms have more troops than others. For example, Sword's Edge, actually, what is the full list? But anything that can currently reach 18 or 19 stars has the most troops in the game. So, for example, the easiest kingdoms in the entire game right now to upgrade include Darkstone, Drifting Sands, Leonis Empire, Sword's Edge, pretty much any of them that you see a bunch of purple stars on, Stormheim, Probably White Helm just because it's such a good tribute. Forest of Thorns, Mist of Scales. Every single one I just mentioned. And maybe Blighted Lands, I guess. But all the ones I just mentioned, well, that's a Magic Kingdom, so never mind, you would do that anyways, duh. But all the ones I just mentioned are the easiest kingdoms in the entire game to upgrade, simply because they have the most amount of troops. Oh, and Zacian, if I didn't already mention that one. Yeah, pretty much any of them that you see like 2, 3 purple stars on my map right now, or even 4, like Darkstone, especially if they have 4. Those are all the easiest kingdoms in the game to upgrade, just because they have the highest sheer amount of troops. And I believe every single one of these also has a delve, which means you can get a really easy legend for 5-star, and you'd also be able to just get those 4 troops as easily at any point, even if there's not an event key system for them at the moment. But any of those would be the easiest ones, and probably the first priority to upgrade, because you most likely have every single one or most of those troops if you're only missing 15 mythics. Also, you would want to double check to see if they actually have the mythic from the kingdom before you go and upgrade. Like if you're trying to reach 10-star, you'd obviously want to do it based on kingdoms that you have both a lot of troops in, but also have the mythic in. Otherwise, you'd only be able to get to 9-star. And while 9-star is still pretty important for your tribute chance, it doesn't give you an extra stat. Yeah, Valkyrie doesn't have a faction yet. Any kingdom that has a faction, you can very easily get a legend from. But if they don't have a faction yet, yeah, you kind of just have to get it off of random luck, unfortunately. Valkyrie is one of them that's still luck-based at the moment. There's currently 21 that have it, so there's 13 kingdoms that currently do not have an easy way to get a legend. And Valkyrie is one of them, unfortunately, at the moment. Hey, gem key, nice. Definitely need those. Not as good as a vault key, but still better than most of his other drops. And if nothing else, it goes towards next mythic, which we definitely need. Actually, how many gem keys do we have right now? I feel like we have a decent handful. I don't think we broke over 1,000 yet, though. Let me go check. Nope, 407. Oh gosh, why does that number seem so low? We still have another 2 weeks. So we still have 2 whole Mondays of all those event keys. But, well, we did burn through every last gem key we had last mythic, so that might be why it seems like a little low. Because I did burn through literally every last gem key I had, as well as quite a bit of glory keys to get the most recent mythic. The one from this month. Hopefully it doesn't take that many for this next mythic. But regardless, we'll get it, regardless how many resources it takes. Obviously, it won't take every resource we have. It'd be near impossible to get that unlucky on it. Yeah, definitely better than 100 souls, that's for sure. Or 2 minor trait stones, or 2,500 gold. These are some pretty bad drops, but he also has some of the better ones, like 4 gem keys, 3 event keys, 20 gems. He does have a 20 gem drop. We've only been getting 5 gems today, but he does actually have a 20 gem drop. It's a little rare, which is one of his rare drops, oddly enough, even though it's not his absolute best drop. He also has a really weird rare 3 celestial drop, which I don't need, but for some people that would be really, really good. And his 20 gem drop is about that rare. His celestial drop, I believe, is actually one of his rarest drops, and 20 gem drop, I think, is pretty high up there in rarity. Which is kind of weird, because I think the 4 gem key and the 3 event key is actually more common than the 3 celestial and 20 gem, even though the keys are better than the other 2. I wonder if we'd ever get a key gnome. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't. That'd be pretty cool. A gnome that drops every key in the game. Obviously with VIP keys at a very, very low rate. Because there's actually no way in the current state of the game to get physical seal keys anymore. There used to be, but actually in the current state of the game it is not possible to get physical seal keys. I wonder if they'll ever add a method to get it again. Obviously, you can buy seal keys, but as far as getting like a preemptive one, it doesn't exist anymore. Because the only way you could get them before was through those buying of the packs from your guild, and then a bunch of them goes to every single member in the guild. However, they've revamped those packs and they're no longer in it, so there's no way to actually get a physical guild key anymore. And I actually have 0 of them at the moment because I had to open some seal keys at one point when we ran out of glory. So I don't even have any physical guild keys. And it's actually impossible to get more at the moment. Which is kind of weird. They'll probably eventually add some kind of way to get to them physically again. But as the game currently stands, there is actually 0 ways to do so. Not like it matters much, you can still obtain them. I'll throw that down for now. I would like to see more ways to get VIP keys, though. Especially since a lot of people don't have access to them. Because they're basically only the equivalent of 10 gym keys, essentially. And they have plenty of ways to get 10 gym keys within the game. Like, I'm surprised Cedric doesn't have like a 2 or 3 VIP key drop or something. VIP keys are interesting in that they, relative to gem value, have the highest chance of dropping mythics in the game, with each key being 1% chance. But they're worth 50 gems each. Well, technically 45 gems if you break down their bulk value. Kind of like how gem keys, 10 gems, but technically 9 gems. Which I normally calculate out as 9. Oh, there we go. Let me go hand out a code. I said at that point we would. So let me go hand that out. And I think we'll do a few more battles and probably call it a wrap for now. Just because I really need to go grab a bite to eat. And then we'll be back later tonight. I might do a little bit of grinding even off stream. Just so we don't have as much to do on the nightly stream. Because I do want to make sure we definitely get level 100 Oracle today, of course. That is 100% a goal. And then tomorrow will be the goal of 100, level 100 Dablist. There you guys go. There's a redeem code used on gemswar.com for the game code section. Your invite code is found in your settings menu. Redeem code's right over there in chat, starting with RM. And give same loot as always, 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. And there's the mail for it. And give same reward as always. And only PC mobile version. There you guys go. Enjoy, everyone. And that's the second code for the stream. And we'll have another one tonight in about 5 hours from now. Yep, no problem. If anyone has any other questions, now would be the great time to ask. Otherwise, we'll probably wrap up in a few more battles. And I'll go grab dinner. And as I mentioned, we'll be back tonight, same time as always, 8 p.m. Standard Time, which is in 5 hours from now. And we'll be getting Oracle to level 100. And getting the last EXP for that. And then we only have 1 hero class left, the Abyss, which I currently have at level 92, if I'm not mistaken. Which will finish on Sunday. We're not going to have a morning stream on Sunday, though. Only the normal nightly one. I might farm it a little bit off stream, though. Just so we don't have as much to do on Sunday night. But regardless, the plan is 100% get Oracle to 100 tonight. And then Diabolus tomorrow to 100. And then we are done. We never need to worry about leveling hero classes ever again. In the current state of the game. Until they eventually decide a couple patches from now to completely rework hero classes. And add something else to farm on them, probably. It's likely that they're going to rebalance to some capacity. If they add grind to it, it's questionable if they will or will not. But 2 things they mentioned is they do have a plan to rework hero classes. And they do have a plan to rework the class event at some point. How exactly they go about doing either of those 2 things, we have not the slightest clue. But they are likely to be happening at some point. And as Bill Warhammer mentioned, definitely feel free to leave a like on stream. Helps out a lot. YouTube seems to like engagement on videos. Elemental Hero Class soon, TM. Elemental Hero Class would be so broken. Them just adding Elemental Hero Class, which would automatically have Storm Tree because they would have to due to its synergy. Just that alone, Elemental with Storm Tree, will be one of the strongest hero classes in the game. It doesn't even matter what other 2 trees it has, or what 3 traits it has. Just an Elemental with Storm Tree alone is going to be very powerful of a hero class, regardless of any other aspect related to it. And hopefully those aspects would be good, which would make it the best hero class in the game. It won't automatically be the best hero class in the game, just with Storm Tree plus Elemental typing. But as long as it has 2 okay trees, and 3, and, you know, like a final trait that isn't horrible, it has potential to be, like, top 3 hero classes in the game. If we were to ever get that. Imagine if they made Frost Mage into Elemental. Could you imagine how broken that would be? The best Freezer combined with, or the best automatic Freezer, I should say. It's technically not the best overall Freezer, but the best automatic Freezer that doesn't really waste a slot. With 50% mana start. With, doesn't it have Stealthy too? Combined with, all the benefits of Elemental. That'd be so ridiculously strong. It would make Frost Mage go from like the 5th or so best hero class to 1st or 2nd. Simply just by making it elemental and no other change. The guy's name is Huh. That's funny. Yes, Ketris is still available in chest in Event Key drop table. As well as technically all the drop tables, but you know, he's the only mythic currently in Event Key drop table. Which is very rare. A lot of kingdoms now have 2 mythics. But Wild Plains is still one of the few that still only has 1 mythic. Which means if you get a mythic from Event Key drop table right now, it is 100% a Ketris. Because there's no other mythic currently there. Someone earlier just stream opened 350 keys and got 2 Ketrises, which was pretty lucky. Definitely worth attempting for it if you still want to get Ketris. Because now's the best time if you don't want to have to spend 4,000 diamonds on it. Especially if you're looking to get 2 rather than 1. Though realistically, you really only need 1. But 2 is still good to have. I use 2 on occasion. Like for Tower of Doom I ran 2 for part of it. Mostly just at the ends. If you're using the Urskea Shield build for it, though, you probably only need 1. Because Urskea Shield only pokes on 1. But if you have something like Yasmin's Pride, you can get away with 2. Maybe if you don't have Yasmin's Pride, it'll be coming in the near future. Whenever the event rolls back around. Oh, so hello, David! Welcome. Any other questions, anyone? Otherwise, I'm probably heading off for dinner soon. And we'll be back in 5 hours from now. Let me know, let me know. And then tonight we'll finish the last of the leveling on Oracle to get it to 100. Such a useless hero class. I don't even think it gains any good perk. I think the only good thing it kind of has that's somewhat synergized here and there is like the 2 HP to all divines per turn. But it itself counts as a centaur, not divine. And the only reason that's somewhat okay is I believe there's a few okay centaurs that count as divine as well. There we go. Okay, this will probably be our final battle then. There we go. When is the Purple Skull Converter weapon coming? It's the last one you need. Purple Skull Converter weapon. I'm not sure which one you mean by that. Do you know it by name? Do you mean the yellow Doom weapon? This one? Doomed Axe? This converts purple to Doom Skull. I assume this is what you're referring to, because I can't think of what other weapon you're referring to otherwise. Doomed Axe is coming with Drifting Sands event. Drifting Sands is coming on... I have no clue. We could find out, though. Drifting Sands, Drifting Sands... wait, we are getting another Vault Troop. Heart of Rage. Oh, that's what the person was mentioning earlier. I was wondering what they were mentioning when they said Heart of Rage. But, that's a rare, too. It's not a common. Oh, never mind. Rage. Never mind. No, it is common. A lot of stuff is still to be determined, though. Wonder what that would give. The purple one that converts yellow. Yeah, the yellow to Doom Skull. So Doomed Axe. That's the one I just looked at, right? Converts purple to Doom Skull. The yellow weapon that converts purple to Doom Skull. Or the purple one that converts to yellow. Oh, wait. Hold up. So you wanted to know... The Scythe then. Doom Scythe? Doom Scythe is Golvania. And next Golvania event is on July 31st. Or sorry, 27th. July 27th. So, 1 week and 1 month from now. So what is that, about 5 weeks or so? But is that the one you're referring to, Doom Scythe? If that's the one you're referring to, then July 27th is when you can get it in Soulforge. But yeah, July 27th. So pretty much around the corner. It's not too far as a weapon is concerned, because sometimes it can be really far away. But yeah, July 27th is when you can get it. So pretty much 1 week and 1 month from today. Yep, no problem. So make sure to save a bunch of purple jewels for it, because I think it requires like 1,000 or something. So do make sure to stockpile them between now and then, if you haven't already. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Best of luck with the Gnome Hunt grind, and hopefully you get a lot of Vault Keys and good loot from those Vault Keys. And if not, hopefully you'll get a bunch of 1,000 glory drops off of Glory Gnomes. But anyways, we'll be back, as I mentioned, about 5 hours from now, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we will be maxing out Oracle and getting Oracle Hero Class level 100. And then tomorrow we won't have a morning stream or anything, but we will have under our normal nightly stream tomorrow night. And tomorrow night we will get our final Hero Class maxed of Diabolus. And then at that point we will finally have every Hero Class maxed and never need to worry about it ever again. And hopefully we'll find some more Vault Keys and randomly get Mech Gnome, so we also have every troop in the game. That'd be funny if it happens almost at the exact same time. I'm hoping we do, though there's a chance we don't get Mech Gnome this weekend, which isn't that big a deal. Like, we can go another year without Mech Gnome and it wouldn't really matter, because it's obviously pretty useless in the current state of the game. But I still want to try getting it. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your weekends. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching.